Hell
yeah.
Or hell, the gang's all here.
Theoretically, we're here.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Yes. So, yes, this is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And we're going to attempt, once again, as we do every weekend, to be able to talk to you. Because, Marconi had some problems at the beginning, and we want to reprise that role.
I like
Did you help him back then, Don?
What? Yes, I did.
I like his noodles, the little ones, the Marconi noodles.
Uh-huh.
Is that what it?
Yeah.
I hear something in the background.
Well, that's because somebody's got his phone up and all of that.
Oh.
So Mr. Mars, our checker over here, he's checking things, and we're hoping that all is well on the Western Front.
Checker or
sacker?
Chucker.
Sacker.
This is supposed to be a car talk show, but it has turned into an internet nightmare. And, we don't know from week to week whether we're going to be on the air, or if we are on the air, is it going to be distorted? Is it going to be jacked up in some way?
Is the internet going to flitter the
It
video?
ain't the internet.
Oh.
No, the internet works fine. Works fine in the house. Works fine out here, except on Saturday mornings when we get to do this show
We
live.
should call Al Gore. Al Gore invented
You need
the
to put
internet.
your headset on because we can't hear a word that
needs
you're
help with
saying.
his headset.
No, don't put your headset on. You just stay over there.
Yeah, we're good. We're on
Mike
Facebook
with his old man broken arm
We're
because he fell
restreaming.
down because he'd been drinking too much. He fell down the stairs, the front porch. No, I think that I've got some alcohol in there. Would you like to?
A little
have
brown water makes everything feel better.
And I've even got some clear water in there too. So
Sitting out here doing shots of tequila.
Saturday morning at 7:45.
Hey, a little orange juice, a little shot of grenadine,
I like orange
tequila
juice.
sunrise.
I don't have any grenadine. What is grenadine?
Grenadine is kind of it's like a cherry syrup.
I went
Cherry
to
syrup.
School, I went to school with Grenadine Orowitz. She was a nice lady.
Grenadine. That
Grenadine
was her
Orowitz,
name.
Yeah,
huh?
Grenadine Orowitz.
Think about the history of drinks. Where did the tequila sunrise go? That was all the rage back in the 80s.
The Eagles took it.
And then,
The Eagles took it. Now let it go. Pop.
Snap it.
Snap it right on the side of the
I will say, I checked the iHeart, and it sounds a whole lot better than it did last week, even.
Really?
Yes.
That's because you're here, Mike.
That's because I jacked with it over here.
Yes, but it does.
And
It really
Facebook
does.
sounded good too. So we're
Really?
up and running on all.
Well,
right.
we're going to talk about cars and not have some stupid audio check on the air live.
Thank you, Cleveland. Good night.
All right.
We'll be here all week.
So
No, we will not.
So do we want to go off and then come back on? Because it's 44.
We always like getting off.
Yes.
Tell me when. I'll shut her down.
He's got an easy way of
Any-
doing it now.
Yeah.
Anything I say is
I
is
have
just
control.
wrong.
Is what?
Anything I say is just wrong.
Yep.
You can't visit any other kind of radio talk show like this.
And get away with this.
Yeah, get away with it.
And need
And
a,
actually, we don't get away with it. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got a full bank of sponsors, and what are we going to do? I mean,
Well,
we're sold out
have
all the
fun.
time, making millions. This is the only thing that we do in our lives all week long.
Just think about how we can do this.
Think about how we can screw it up differently this week.
Well, Mars, he's always bringing something new. Every week it's
look what
something
I
new.
got something new.
Yeah.
Jeff's got a new laptop,
Yeah.
and your laptop went wacko.
You know what we should do?
It was jealous of the
You know
new
what we
one.
should do? We should just go gang grocery shopping for things like this. We just call these the groceries. And let's go get something different this
As
week.
long as it's under $950, it's a misdemeanor,
That's right.
and they won't prosecute us.
That's
No,
right.
that's in California, not in Texas.
Truly is.
Texas, you're liable to get shot.
We need a
Well.
coupon.
Coupon?
Coupon.
Coupons. Well, we've run out of things to say here.
Everything we've
7:40.
said up to this moment has been so worthwhile.
It
listening
has
to.
been. I'm sure it's being recorded somewhere.
Regimented.
Probably not on the thing that it's supposed to
Ooh,
be recorded
Looky,
on.
looky,
over
it's
there.
me.
Is that even plugged in?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What has David done here?
What has David done?
I've got me on the screen.
Well, look at that. Yeah.
We don't want that.
David.
No, we don't.
David, I'm sure, has done
Wonders.
much better than we have. That's for sure.
Well, that's to stop the video.
No.
He was doing
Choose the
selfies.
camera.
Doing selfies.
You know, there are people that will
That
watch
it's,
crap like this. Going, who are
Our
these
camera's
old
not
men?
on. That's
There's
the
not
problem.
many.
Who are these old men, and what are they doing? Are they going to screw it up? Are they going to say something provocative?
Well, I found that
that's no doubt. That's a weekly event.
the
of
people that
something
do listen to
provocative.
this,
Oh, Lord. Mars is getting up to change something.
No, he's getting up to turn a camera on.
Is that what it is?
the
we're
people that
hoping.
listen to this generally start smoking and drinking after the show.
But it
So,
depends. Well, we know what
a
they're
lot of
smoking.
bad habits going on.
Yeah, we know
there.
what they're smoking. It's not cigarettes.
No.
Well, I guess when I was given a tour of one of those pot shops
Oh.
in Colorado, I'd never been in one before. I couldn't believe my eyes. And down at the
And they were
end-
red.
They were very red. And down at the end of the aisles, before you check out, they had a whole section in there of pre-rolled little trumpet-looking things.
Oh.
And they were the joints, the pre-rolled joints. They were
Oh.
very expensive, and you could get them in different. What do you say?
Potencies?
Different potencies.
Potentates.
Yeah. And you know, you could get the Oaxaca, you could get the Colorado Gold, you know, all these different names of all this stuff. Oh my God! Have you been in one?
No.
You should.
No.
It is not to buy. I didn't buy anything. I just went in there, snapped that thing on his head, snapped it.
No. He's going to need a brace for his ear.
Diane Hovis
He's going to put a
says
sling.
she should send one of her grandkids over here to help us old parts get all set up.
That's right.
Please, Diane, please.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because for them, they'd have it all set up in about 3 minutes. We've been here an hour and 45 minutes
Trying to
do
get this thing. So I'm telling you,
Good morning, Ruse.
Of all of the people, you have to do a tour of a pot shop. Now, I had a relative of mine take me on this pot shop tour. There's one on every corner in Colorado.
Yeah. San
She says-
Francisco as well.
And she said, I'm going to take you to the nice big one. Oh, my God, it was like a Walmart.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it was like an old, ginormous 7-Eleven. Remember the big, huge 7-Elevens? That's the size of this place. I don't know how many square feet.
Well,
Did they have a pick your own section where you could go pick your own?
Well,
Instead
instead
of
of
Buc-ee's, it's Puffies.
No, it's it's a Utokum.
You took 'em. Oh, that's very good.
Yeah. We could do a remote, Mike.
In San
Set it up.
Francisco, there is an app you can order, and they will deliver to your door.
Yeah, it's like Uber Eats or whatever.
Kind of goes
you know,
hand in
Uber
hand
Munchies.
there.
Uber Munchies.
Uber Eats happens after you smoke
Uber
something.
Munchies,
And
and
you
they
get
got
the
nothing but
munchies.
Doritos in the car.
We'll deliver it free if you order food.
No. They just deliver whether you
hooch.
want edibles or gummies or burnables or
Your
whatever.
accessories.
The other thing it was just amazing to me is you could buy different buds. If you wanted to do it yourself, you go in there, these great big huge apothecary jars that were full of dried
buds.
marijuana buds.
Of
Nothing-
different flavors and strains
Well, I don't
and
know about
names.
flavors, but
Well,
yeah.
strains.
potency levels. Yes, and different,
And that's
this was grown on the mountaintop in Tennessee.
and
or
all of
whatever.
that's listed on those on the online thing where you can order it on an app.
Truly
in
amazing.
San Francisco.
Truly
So,
amazing.
truth in advertising, do they do the cholesterol and the sodium and all that?
No, but they do the THC content and the CBD content and so there's a third measurement. I don't remember what that was.
You have to go into one of them.
We could do a remote, Mike.
I may never find my way out.
No, seriously.
Could float out.
You don't go in there to buy. You just go in there to
Browse.
Look,
And aren't Girl Scouts selling cookies in front of these places too? And
If
It's
they're
a-
smart, they would be.
It's an educational tour. That's what it was for me. We didn't.
Does
buy
it give a
anything.
new meaning to secondhand smoke?
No, you can't smoke in there. It's like
Oh.
It's like going to a liquor store.
They don't let you try it?
Matter of fact, you had to go through security, unlike a liquor
and
store.
don't you need like a prescription from a doctor to do that?
No.
Used to. You don't anymore. In
not
certain
in
states.
Colorado.
Well, Dr. Vinny Boombots would probably.
Dr.
Yeah,
Vinny
Vinny
Boom
Boom
Bots,
Bots,
Vinny
yeah.
Boom Bots.
Listen, if
Yeah.
Dr. Vinny Boom Bots was there, I would go.
We could do remote. I'll dress like doctors.
Here you go,
This is
Mr.
what we could
Mars. It's approximate.
Okay. Well, I was just checking here. Mr. Jones has joined us, and I was just trying to make connections here.
Okay. Well, it's fine. Yes. So it was truly, it was the most amazing thing.
How did we go in this direction?
So you walk in the door, and the first thing you see is a guy looked like a ticket taker, but the glass was that thick. He was the security guy. Let me see the ID. Not a pleasant guy. All muscled up, tattoos,
he's
the whole
protecting what's inside.
All right. You have to be buzzed through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the whole point of going.
You're going to be buzzed out, too.
Yeah.
I'd like to be buzzed through, please, and not take that one.
And the person that I was with, we had to kind of like swear up and down that we weren't buying for one another. You only could buy for yourself.
Oh.
Couldn't buy. So you can't, like deal it or something like that. And I guess, I don't know, but I guess there's a limit on what you can buy.
Well, I know that they have them in Oklahoma now, too. Oklahoma's got what do they call them?
Dispensaries.
Dispensaries, yeah.
Dispensaries. Okay.
This is all new to me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to drag your butt into one of those one of these times, and you're going to go.
Mike's going to set up
you're
a remote.
You're going to get all freaked out.
We'll have all our listeners meet us up there. We'll do like a tour up there.
So once you go through security, then you go in either around the corner, and where the guy sits in the security window, back behind it, there was a ginormous floor-to-ceiling glass display case. And in there was every kind of glass paraphernalia you could possibly imagine, including a bong that was, I'm 6'1". This was taller than me. So how do you do that?
Carefully.
You have to get on your knees to put the pot down on the floor because that's where the bowl is, and then the hose, I guess, comes.
Well, here's the meaning. If you have to go down on the floor, it's just easier to like fall and roll over. You're halfway there.
You're closer to where you're going to wind up anyway.
Take that bong hit. You go to wipe something off your shoulder, and it's the floor.
It's like running high at Talladega.
That was in a movie. It was where I
Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke?
Oh, okay.
Probably. I don't know.
Guessing. Mike would know.
Anyhow.
Mike would know.
Up in Smoke.
Are we going to be able to see the clock or just you?
Oh.
Apparently
Do we need to see the
clock? I do. I need to see it.
I'll go and put it over there.
Okay.
It's probably a little slow.
Are we done with our playtime?
No. I'm thinking that for the entertainment value alone.
Oh.
Yeah, we need to make sure Mr. Jones can talk to us too.
Well, okay. Well, give me just a moment to sit back down.
Yeah, when you get situated.
All right.
Does everyone have internet? We're all good.
I'm good.
I don't know what we have.
We have audio on social media. We have video on social media. We're good on YouTube. We're restreaming.
Hello, Mr. Jones. Are you there?
Oh, can't hear him. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Do we want to put him up on the screen or no?
Did you pot him up?
I did. He's up.
Try again.
Mr. Jones, I'm afraid you're still muted.
Which is what I should be. We all should be.
No, it doesn't say he's muted.
No, it doesn't say it, but I sure can't hear him.
Maybe he's messing with us.
Uh-oh.
He's got help.
Yeah.
We got help.
We got help. We got IT support coming in.
All right, now try that.
There, you're getting close. Got a little more?
Yeah, we can.
You can't hear me?
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Very good right there. Don't move.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
cool. What do we start about 4 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to be on the air here. Well, actually, we're on the air now, but we've been.
This is all testing.
Yeah,
This is nothing testing. We're sitting here talking about past experiences, and it's been an education. Well, my shopping.
Okay.
My tour of the dispensary was
Like the hot rod
eye-opening.
tour. This is.
This wasn't the hot rod tour. This was the dispensary tour.
It was dilating.
It was dilating. Oh yeah.
Oh, Richard,
Wow.
Richard.
Yeah.
See what you got into here?
Yeah. So stand by, Richard, and we'll be with you in a minute. You don't mind. Mike's a little hot there. See, before we went on the air to this quote unquote test, I have to tell you that we've been here for about hour and 40 minutes, getting all stressed out, worried. Mars brings another treat of equipment
tool.
with us.
Every week.
Every week it's something new. Oh, I need another adapter QYZ.
Getting us better.
Can we get a hot tub next week? That'd be great.
No.
Can we get a tour of the dispensary?
And run through the sprinklers.
The dispensary, that's right. A video tour of the dispensary. What if they have those?
I'm sure they do. You probably
Online.
YouTube it.
Google it.
Oh, give us a tour of XYZ.
Actually, what we need, maybe we can have one of them on. Maybe one of them has a car angle.
A car angle.
Mm-hmm.
Where to stash it in a car when you're pulled over.
That's right. Where to stash your stash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could have one of those console vaults.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Next thing you know, we'll be part of the cartel, and it's just bad.
That's it. Well, we're a part of the car cartel, aren't we?
Cartel.
Cartel.
We're a cartel show.
That's right.
We tell about cars.
Yeah.
And today, the interesting thing is we're going to talk about the National Mustang Club.
Oh, yeah?
Indeed.
That's coming up next.
It's
I
coming
know.
up.
The
In
Mustang
Big
Club.
excited.
I've got
2
here, it
minutes.
says Mustang Club of Houston.
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the Mustang Club of Houston, but they have a good relationship with the National.
And they're, the Mustangs are worldwide, so we've got contacts
Yeah,
in Italy. We've got.
I tried to get a hold of her.
Did you?
Yep, I tried to get a hold of her. Yeah.
Mansion?
Yeah, to see how
She's
things
busy.
are going over there, see if she could join us again. So I'm still working on that.
She posts a lot of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Well,
she does-
there's a time difference, I think.
yeah. And
That's usually a problem.
well,
She
Because
may
what
be,
is it,
she may be
Saturday after-
attending the Queen's Jubilee.
I doubt
Oh, yeah.
that.
no.
I doubt that. I saw a
They don't
picture. I think
use-
it was all photoshopped. It was absolutely hysterical about her Jubilee. She's 96,
Yeah.
and somehow they got her to stand up,
Oh, yeah.
and there she was.
They talked about she doesn't want the people to see her in a wheelchair, but I imagine probably a lot of her travel within the palace is in a wheelchair. Just for
there's nothing
comfort,
wrong with that.
comfort.
There's nothing
and
wrong.
No,
with
I'm just saying for comfort and
for
convenience.
optics.
But she doesn't want the people to remember her in a chair. Think about it. FDR was in a wheelchair, and a lot of people.
Governor Abbott's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people didn't realize FDR was in a wheelchair early
Well,
on.
they hid it. They
Yeah.
kept it a little hush hush.
Yep. You tried to
That's
keep
what
it
you
quiet.
get for jumping
All
on
right.
cakes all your life.
All right,
We're
what?
about to go.
Need a little. Take a deep breath. Need a little bit of pause so I can find a good edit point to cut all this crap out.
Hey.
This is the good
Here's
stuff, buddy.
45
Watch
seconds.
your
We're
language,
gonna
Mike.
put that on a separate
We're going to pause
YouTube
now.
video.
You can't say crap.
We are men of pause.
We are,
Oh,
among
boy.
many other things. Okay, so
letting it
I
roll.
think we're going to go now. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Welcome, we think, to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Richard Jones from the Mustang Club of Houston joins us. Jeff will review his pre-owned car of the week, the 2011 Buick Lacrosse. Later, Conrad has this week's car clinic, and we'll also have the stories making auto news headlines this week. Straight ahead on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. If you're just now tuning in, great. You've missed probably the best part of this 3-hour program.
Maybe they tuned out.
Huh?
Maybe some of them have tuned out.
Now they have tuned out.
Come back.
No,
Come
they'll
back.
come back.
You think?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Because it was a very exciting pre-show conversation that we had today. We were talking about dispensaries.
No, boy.
Somehow, some way, we got off onto that.
No, you did.
Oh, I did. That's what it was.
Don took a tour. Didn't go shopping, just took a tour.
Well,
A 3-hour
kinda,
tour.
it wasn't quite 3 hours
He
or
was
anything
marooned.
like that, but yeah, there was that. Anyway, this is a car show. If you just joined us for the first time, you may be a bit confused. This isn't a show about dispensaries, I promise. We could
But-
turn it into that.
But it's a car show.
It is a car show.
And as a car show, we talk cars and talk with local people about cars and
Talk a lot
national
of
people
smack.
about
National, yeah,
cars.
A
yeah.
lot of smack.
And
So we thought today that we would talk to the big potentate of the Mustang Club of Houston,
All right.
Richard Jones. He joins us now. Richard, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, man, thanks so much for joining us. For us, it was difficult to get out of bed. I'm sure that you've probably been up, since 4:30, worked out, took a shower, put on your makeup, and ready to have this interview. Am I right?
Actually, that's true.
It is. It's true. And we can also tell he's a car guy.
Yeah. And he lies.
So, Richard, Mustang Club of Houston, my guess is it's probably one of the largest Mustang clubs in the United States.
Well, I wouldn't know if it's the largest, but we have a fair amount of members. We used to have a lot more than we do now, but you know how COVID was. COVID kind of knocked the membership down by half. We used to have like 160. Now we have about 78 to 80 members now. That nasty COVID did a number.
Oh, wow.
Well, so it's more manageable now, because I know
Yes.
when you put 80 or 180 car guys together, it can get a little crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on with the Mustang Club of Houston. I know that you guys always have events going on. And
Yeah, as a matter of fact, next Saturday, we have the Northside Mustang Car Club. They're having their spring show at Gullo Ford on the 11th of this month.
Oh,
And
that's
so
up in Conroe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to go out there and help them set up and park cars and stuff like that, because they helped us with our recent show that was at Planet Ford on I-45 in spring.
And it's good to see the dealerships, the local Ford dealers, really support your club, and your club supports the dealership as well. Because years ago, to give up that kind of space to have an event at a dealership was time consuming for the dealer to clear the space. Now, with inventory issues, there seems to be a lot of space at dealerships. So they're very happy just to have you guys there, drawing traffic, but also bringing in Ford fanatics on the property as well. Showing off the new Mustangs, but also showing off the old Mustangs for their employees, as well as, people passing by, drawing traffic into the store.
Richard, let me ask you, this is going to be a test of your knowledge. What's the difference between a Cleveland and a Windsor?
Cleveland and the Windsor. You know what? I used to know that, but I forgot.
I think it's 400 miles, isn't it? Cleveland and Windsor?
Something like that. Do you know?
Yeah.
I believe
It's two different types of Ford
Cleveland
engines.
has canted
Two different
valves.
type of engines.
Cleveland has a canted valve, and a Windsor has the valves are on plane with each other. Where Cleveland, the intake
Offset.
and exhaust valves are not on plane with each other.
That's really
And
the only difference?
Well, but
Same block?
The Cleveland breathes much better. The airflow through it it'll pull more cubic feet per minute through a Cleveland.
Did it have more horsepower?
But the heads and the intake and stuff, they're not interchangeable.
No.
Yeah. So there is some physical differences.
Yeah,
there.
there's a uniqueness to them, but
it's
about airflow through the head. Cleveland was always a more powerful engine than the Windsor was.
How many more Clevelands and Windsors? What's the difference?
Cleveland was probably. Would you agree that Cleveland was a much lower production engine in the Mustang? Okay,
Richard, can you hear us?
Richard.
Yes.
Cleveland was a relatively low production engine in Mustangs. Couple of years
Okay.
only that it was that it was real popular. Is that correct?
I think so. I think I had a 1972 Ford, a Mercury Cougar. And I think it had a Cleveland in it. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
What
Cougars are nice.
Let me ask you a question. What drove you over to the Ford side of the equation, the Mustang side, as opposed to a Camaro or a Mopar?
Well, that's funny you ask, because back when I was a younger man, my car of choice was the Ford Bronco. That's what I liked, the Ford Bronco. And then in 1972, when a Mustang Mach 1 came out, that was it. I was sold. And so I've been a Mustang guy ever since.
Okay, so 72 would have been. Did they call that the Sportback?
Yeah, I think it was a Mustang Fastback. I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what sold me.
Cool looking.
So I became a Mustang person.
Very
ever
cool
since.
looking
And
car.
my wife and I were on Mustang number 6.
Okay.
Wow.
So what's your Mustang of choice today?
What's that?
What Mustang do you have today?
We have a 2020 EcoBoost, a 4-cylinder Mustang that has more horsepower than my G8, my '08 did. In 2008, it had 300 horsepower from the factory. This has 310 horsepower from the factory. Go figure.
So listen, I got a chance to drive that little four-banger. Holy Toledo. And that thing will wind up. It's pretty amazing what they can get out of that four-cylinder.
So in your club, in the Mustang Club, are there any of the Mach-E's or any of the electrics floating around out there that y'all meet with?
Not yet. We have Mustangs from 1964 all the way up to like 20, 21, 22. But we do not have a Mach-E in our club yet.
Is that because it isn't?
Our club is like older guys.
Old school.
Cars. And the Mach-E is kind of snub right now. So maybe in the future it may kind of roll on these guys. But right now we have no Mach-E's.
It may have the name Mustang, but it doesn't have the aura of a Mustang.
Exactly.
To get up and go.
I think if they had made the Mustang Mach-E in the shape of a regular Mustang and made it electric, I think it probably would go over a lot better than making an SUV. That's my outtake on it.
That's probably very true.
Yeah, and I would imagine that the Ford Mustang automobile will be electric before too long, because everybody else is.
Yeah, if not full electric, maybe an electric hybrid version of it where it's gas powered and an electric.
That's true. They're working on a hybrid right now.
Or a kit.
And the boost of the hybrid kind of makes sense because it takes away that range anxiety. You know, you're still going to put gas in it, and high probability is it'll be an internal combustion engine drives a generator that produces the electricity to propel the vehicle, and the gas engine won't actually propel the vehicle. There's been a lot of conversation about that by a number of manufacturers. You know, that's what a Chevy Volt was.
I was just going to say that, yeah, Chevy Volt. And I'll be honest with you, not to get off the subject of the Mustangs, but that Chevy Volt, I would have bought one of those. That thing was, I thought it was an awesome.
The Volt or the Bolt?
Volt.
Okay.
Which they don't make anymore, and that's the hybrid.
You know, with Ford releasing the F-150 Lightning, it would be easy to see that powertrain transition into a bodied two-door Mustang.
Well, they're selling those. They're selling the motor, the electric motor,
the kits.
online.
Yep.
Except it doesn't have a controller.
And there's people are putting them in the older vehicles and finding controllers to make work.
Yeah. So, what is it? Just a gathering of the Mustang Club of Houston and Northside Mustang up there at Gullo next weekend. When is it? Is it Saturday or Sunday event?
It's a Saturday event.
Starts at 8 a.m. and goes to 2 p.m. at Gillo Ford in Conroe.
Gullo.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's at Gladstone 45. And 45.
Gladstone, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, if you're driving by, matter of fact, I flew over it yesterday, and I will tell you that they got lots of room out there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And if you're into Mustangs, that would be a great event to go to.
Or go on up.
Richard, is this an open show or is it strictly for Mustangs?
It's an open show. Anybody can come. Open show.
So you wouldn't shun us Corvette guys?
No,
they'd laugh at you, but they wouldn't shun you.
Look the other way, but
they'd whoop you.
Everybody's welcome.
Well,
everybody's welcome.
The beauty of it, as well as I imagine, you know, Gullo has quite a good collection, a personal collection, and whether or not Tony might bring a few of his toys out to show at the event as well.
He's got a few, doesn't he?
That would be well worth going to.
From what I understand, he has quite a few.
He's got a few.
Yeah, he's got quite the collection.
I've seen it.
You've been out to his museum?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And that's by invite only. You're a special person because I've never been invited.
But well, no,
I've been quasi
actually we were all invited when we had Tony Anisis come out any time. I know. But you know,
it is nice.
Yeah.
He was just being nice.
Well, that's probably the case because he is a nice guy, and you know, I would much rather go and buy a Ford of any kind from Tony Gullo than I think anybody else in town. Not that there aren't some great Ford dealers in town, but Tony Gullo is a well-established guy in town.
Oh yeah,
and community-oriented. Very friendly, what a great guy. I mean,
and how many years has that dealership been there?
Yeah,
30
long
plus.
time, yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
at
know,
least.
and when you're a dealership, a privately owned dealership, not one of these big corporate stores,
like Auto
when
Nation.
when you're privately owned and you're in business that long, you know, that's proof that you have integrated into the community, and the community accepts you as well, and does enough business with you to keep you there long enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's a give and take on support too.
And when you look at, you know, there aren't that many privately owned dealerships anymore. More and more of them are going corporate. So to see him engage with the Mustang Club of Houston and the Northside Mustang Club, to have them up there for a big show next weekend, it's, you know, says a lot about his involvement.
Richard, when is the national show or event going to be? Is it going to be this summer?
They have national show events all over. I don't know where the next one is. I don't have the information. New York is going to be one coming up.
I got you. Are you going to go to that?
No, sir.
No.
We had one here in Houston in 2019.
We were there. Yeah, out at the
Air and Space Museum at Ellington.
Yes.
Yeah, we were there. We were
there.
actually inside the building doing the show.
We were easy to forget.
Yeah.
Okay. I was busy working.
I know. But that was a great show. I mean, how cool was that? That was so unique and different and nice.
The integration of the planes and the cars was probably something that they don't get an opportunity to do as well. And then the P-51 Mustang. And then the other thing was firing up. What did they fire up? A B-17 or a B-25 or something?
It was massive.
It shook the whole building when they fired that plane up outside. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Well, okay, so next weekend, 8 to 2 at Gullo Ford in Conroe.
So where do you find that? If somebody wants to register or show up, is there a place they can go look for some more info?
They can look on Northside Mustang Car Club .org, and they can find out the information.
All right. Well, Richard, it's great talking to you. You can go take your makeup off now.
Okay.
And have a wonderful day. Do you have some car things you're going to do today, or wash it or something?
Well, I'm probably going to wash it because my wife and I just came back from Oklahoma and it got really dirty.
You got some bugs on it.
Got a lot of bugs on it.
Yeah, it's a dirty state.
That's it. All right. Well, Richard, thank you again. It's a pleasure talking to you. Hope to see you soon, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
They have very active groups, the two Mustang clubs here in town. Hugely
Yes, they are.
active groups. They're always doing something.
Speaking of which, active groups, I have made contact with Sean Jones, and Sean is actually putting on the Corvette Invasion.
Right, in Bastrop.
And Bastrop, and that's coming up on the 11th of July. And I have been invited. The 350 slots.
Well, the 15th through the 17th of July.
I'm sorry, 15th through the 17th.
But he's going July 11th.
I'm going to go on the 11th.
And wait for him.
Okay.
That's right.
You're going to get a good parking spot.
There's a dispensary out there.
But at any rate, so I've been invited to go. So I've got me a motel.
Oh.
And I'm going to go. I'm going to spend 3 days Corvetting with other Corvetters.
Oh.
And the final day on Sunday, we get to do a lap of Circuit of the Americas.
That'll be fun.
It'll be fun. So 350 of my fellow Corvetters are going to join me and everybody else up there in Bastrop.
Well, you got something in your back pocket because you just did the hot rod tour of Texas. So you're going to kind of have a comparison to that.
Well, this is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah,
it's
but
not going to be a road trip per se. Yeah.
So do you do the Corvette wave? Are you a Queens wave?
You know, I used to do that. And I guess if
salute?
somebody waves, I'll wave. I used to do that.
So your lap at Coda, is it going to be like a parade lap? Or are you going to say, Don, here's your turn?
No, it's not going to be Don, here's your turn. No, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be a speed event.
Expensive tires.
Yeah.
It'd be like a parade lap.
It'll be a parade lap, but I imagine they'll make it a little bit of fun and give you a modicum of speed.
At some point,
I doubt it's going to be 30 miles an hour all the way around. It
God, I
might be
hope
30
not.
miles an hour through sections just to keep everybody
Yeah,
in
you hit
place.
that hairpin coming into the
But
back straight.
That back straight. It'd be fun if they let you get up north of 100 miles
the
an hour
turn
on the back
is
straight.
right off of the front straight, where it
And
goes
up
up
the hill.
there
The bank.
and turns back around,
Yeah.
goes back. That's the one.
It's not a 90. It's like a 120.
Yeah, it is. So at any rate, that's going to be on Sunday before we go home. But Friday, big welcome.
So we're going to be without you that weekend.
Yes, you will.
Are
As
you
a matter of
gonna-
fact, I
are you
think,
gonna call
I
in?
think what
Yes.
I
All
think,
right.
I think what we're going to have, I told Mars, I said, I think what we're going to do is going to have a repeat show that weekend.
Oh.
So everybody has a day off, including me, and I don't have to worry about calling in and screwing it up. And so I think it'll be a good weekend off for everybody.
Might I suggest the
Lord.
December 19th show from 2 years ago? That's the Hyundai episode.
December 19th is
Was-
Don
was
and
it your
my
birthday?
birthday.
Was
That's
that is that the Hyundai?
The
episode.
handshake show.
The handshake show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that
Jeff,
arm.
you're really tied into that.
I know. I've got it posted somewhere.
You know that
Over and over and over.
that
again.
was a great show. I have to admit.
Best of.
Yes, a best of show. Okay. Are we moving on now?
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the racing calendar?
Well, I do, but I did want to remind everybody that if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can always shoot us an email. And that address is info@inwheeltime.com. Thank you. I knew you'd get it right. This will
That's
probably
right.
be
It's
even the
right
only
there.
thing we get right today, but at any rate. All right, time now for the racing calendar.
Well, next weekend is the 24 Hours Le Mans.
What about this weekend?
Well, this weekend is NHRA is finally back after 3 or 4 weeks off.
What is up with that?
I don't know. But they're at New England Dragway this weekend, and then the 17th through the 19th, they're going to be at Bristol Dragway, which is always a good event because that's kind of down in the valley, and that's a fun
That's
place
where they
to
put
go.
the sensors in the ground for the earthquake sensors.
I will
Right.
have to tell you my experience there at the Bristol.
And then
drag
NASCAR this weekend is in St. Louis at Gateway Raceway. On June 12th, they're going to be at Sonoma. And then on June 26th, they're going to be at Nashville. Formula One is going to be next weekend at
cares?
Azerbaijan.
Oh,
Can you
boy.
spell that?
No.
Azerbaijan.
No, you can't.
No.
And that's going to be
AZ.
on ERBAIJAN.
MOUSE.
And then on the 19th, the Canadian Grand Prix at Gilles Villeneuve
Who cares?
track, or Jacques Villeneuve
Not
track.
going to watch it.
And then IMSA is at Belle Island, Detroit today.
Yes, 2 races.
And they're
It's
going to
awesome.
have, the prototype cars and the GT4 cars.
And the
How
next-
come we don't
Corvette's
have
racing.
anything here?
Next year, they're going to the streets of Detroit. They're taking it off of
Off
Belle Isle,
going
right?
downtown.
And so
Why?
they've got it's a bigger event. They want to make it, a more.
It's going to be
because
part of
it's
the
faster to take the tires off downtown than it is at Belle
Well,
Isle.
You get
I
help
don't
downtown
understand
when
that.
you
They've
want to
got
go.
such a unique venue in Belle Isle. Why can't you bus everybody over there?
Well, that's
it's-
what they do.
Yeah, but the thing with taking to the streets of Detroit, they only have a mile of good road, so it's going to just be a mile
In
back
Detroit.
In Detroit, so.
It's going to
They
be.
got
I
2
think it's going
years
to be
to-
part of the Detroit Auto Show. You know, they're moving it out of the convention, and the whole downtown area is going to be part of it.
Oh, that'll be
Or that
great.
was the plan we saw 2 years ago.
Then on June 26th, IMSA is going to be at Watkins Glen. IndyCar is tomorrow
Right.
at Belle Isle,
Mhm.
and then on the 12th at Road America.
Did you watch the Indy 500?
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
It was good. It wasn't great. I was kind of disappointed that so many things happened at the wrong time to advantage certain people, and I know that wasn't the intent. But when an accident happens and it's just in time for pit stops and stuff, that happens at NASCAR.
Yeah, the the format of the show gets interrupted in a bad way.
Right,
How's that?
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Bad things happen.
you got to think last weekend was a little over 200 miles at Monaco Formula One, and then 500 miles at Indy and 600 miles at Charlotte.
I used
So it
to
was like
like
1,300 miles of racing you
I
could
used
watch.
to like Monaco, but Dude, I didn't realize really how there's no passing.
No,
You can't
It's a
pass.
parade. Once you get in the lead,
Yeah,
you're there for good.
Yeah, it really is disappointing, and I know Jeff loves Formula One.
But-
I notice I haven't said anything during this episode. I haven't said
But
a
let's
word.
remember the season opener for Gulf Coast Racing Series here in Houston is July 2nd
Yep.
out at a Houston Motorsports Park, and they are going to have a spec Miata race there
And
That
a
ought to
roundy
be packed.
round.
Yeah.
at a roundy round
We need
with
to
a
go.
$5,000 purse.
Wow.
And Richard Tomlin at Apex Auto Works is heavily involved in bringing that spec Miata group of people there. And
Actually,
that should be
going,
fun to
we're
do.
go- we're going to have a conversation with Gina Child Knowles about that. I guess next weekend or something.
It'll be we're remote the next 2 weekends, so it'll be the weekend after that.
Oh, that's right.
But we got
In
Rodney
2
on
weeks
today,
and-
so Rodney could probably fill us in too.
Yeah.
So that is this week in racing.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, Jeff has a pre-owned car of the week that I actually am kind of looking forward to hearing his take on it. It's the 2011 Buick Lacrosse. This is an SUV.
No.
No,
Oh,
this is the
sedan. It's a
Lacrosse. This is
sedan.
the Ford.
Oh, okay,
Ford,
sorry,
Ford
my
Orange.
It's
sorry,
a
I'm
sedan for 2011.
sedan, yeah.
It's a sedan. It's a Buick Lacrosse.
They don't
It's
make that anymore, do they?
It's that in the Lucerne. We're in that family.
That's right.
This is a CXS. And again, you got the Lucerne on the other side of it. I
Which is
like the
bigger.
car. Right. I like the car. I had an old friend of mine that owned the Lucerne. It was a pretty car. It was very, very reliable.
So this is the Malibu size.
sort of
Yeah,
kind
a little bit bigger,
Right.
but yeah, and
It's a 5-passenger. With the exterior highlights, the exterior features, you've got the normal dusk sensing headlights. You've got the engine immobilizer. You've got a nice trim package on it. You can do different wheels and tire combinations, which is pretty fancy. But people might think it's like an old man's car. That's why I kind of like it, because I'm an old man. So it's a very attractive car to me. On the interior side of it, you can get the buckets. You don't have the bench, but you got buckets. You've got 8-way power seats for passenger and driver, ventilated seats, heated seats, just in the front though. And then you can have the bolstered cloth, or you can do some of the leather. That's a nice package right there. I like the pod, the shifter and on the console. I like that.
But it's bucket seats and center console only.
Correct.
You cannot get a bench
Correct.
seat. You have
Right.
to go up to the Lucerne to get the bench
Mhm.
seat.
Exactly. So it's a good-looking car. All the controls are within reach of this, both right and left on the door as well. Moving on to the horsepower, which is pretty good. It's a 3.6-liter 3.6 V6 dual overhead cam, 280 horsepower, which is not really on the high end, but it's a medium range of horsepower.
It's perfect for that car.
Yeah. It moves. It's 259 foot-pounds of torque. It's a 6-speed automatic transmission.
Oh, wow. Old 6-speed.
Yep.
It's a 2011.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2011.
That's an 11-year-old car.
Mm-hmm.
17 miles in the city, 27 on the highway. Combined is about 24. You could probably get a little bit more, a little less, depending on who
I'll
drives
bet
it,
you
Mike.
that thing rides like a dream.
Yeah, it's smooth. They're
'Cause
smooth
that
rides.
was
I've
kind of-
ridden in them.
That
Yeah.
was kind of Buick's thing, was the ride quality, that float.
They're still around. It's an 18-gallon fuel tank, which that's about $7,000 worth of gas. Stability control. You've got 4-wheel ABS on that rascal. Here's the beauty of it: being a 2011, $89.95, and it's got about 140,000 miles, which is a sweet spot for a Buick at that time. 8 exterior colors, 3 interior colors. But if you needed a different color, we could find a place for $29.95 to paint the car for you.
Earl Shy.
Earl Shy. Brand new, this vehicle was around $33,000. So it's a pretty good bargain. And they're out there. You can find a good one. You might have a little bit higher mileage on it, but if you get one that's in good shape, it'll drive.
Did you,
Nice cars.
did you happen to see the picture of the Buick Wildcat
Yes.
that they debuted
Oh, my
this
God.
week?
Oh, it was awesome. Wow. Want it.
Yeah, the
Anything they
all-electric.
post, I want.
I've got a story on it.
And I was wondering why they didn't call it the Electra.
Well, the whole electric fleet, which will all be changed over by 2030. I got the story.
It's
I'm
gonna
going to
be
read it.
Electra, okay.
It's going to be the Electra. Yeah, so they're going to incorporate the Electra, and
Which is
And-
a classic name, only to go back to it fits the EV platforms.
yes, that's perfect. And I hope
It looks something like what they showed.
that Yeah, and this Wildcat, oh my gosh, what an
It's pretty.
absolutely stunningly beautiful car.
Very modern, high-tech, futuristic. How's that?
Hey, I want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on iHeartRadio, Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, looking for a summer road trip? Corky Coker joins us to talk about the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival. Conrad has the car clinic. We'll have this week's auto news just ahead. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zeek, and I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, where our live show originates on a Saturday morning studio telecast.
Studio A.
Yeah, it's old Studio A. Sure, I'm glad you could join us. And also joining us this morning, I don't know where he's not in Chattanooga is my guess. Corky Coker, Chattanooga Motor Car Festival, and I think a tire entrepreneur. Corky, good morning.
I love it.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing great. It's good to have you with us. Did I get all that correct ahead of schedule?
Well, yeah, but I am in Chattanooga. I'm right here at world famous Honest Charlie Speed Shop and the home of the Coker Museum, and I have a farm just south of us in Wildwood, and the internet's a little spotty sometimes, so came here so I could see your pretty faces. Just
Beautiful. Hope we didn't disappoint.
Well, I will tell you that I have been through Chattanooga a couple of times in my life, and it is probably one of the most beautiful places in the United States and on Earth. Actually, it's absolutely gorgeous there.
We enjoy it here. It's a wonderful place, and my friends Byron and Ken DeFore and I and a number of other folks on the staff of the Motor Car Festival decided we wanted to share this wonderful community and this wonderful town with the world. And 3 years ago, well, in 2019, I guess, we had our inaugural Chattanooga Motor Car Festival event. It was a rousing success, despite the fact that we bumped heads up with Hershey swap meet, which was a pretty bad decision at the start. But now we're the 12th through 15th, I believe, of October. And we're going after, in this year, in 2022, we're going after our third annual event. It is an amazing, fun time.
When did you say it's coming up? In October?
Yeah, in October. We're the week after Hershey big swap meet in Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God. So you get to see the season change. You get to see the leaves. Absolutely beautiful.
Great road trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. You know, Don, a lot of us people in Chattanooga say God lives here, but I'm not him. But it is so beautiful here. We got rivers, we got mountains, we've got cars. We build cars here. Obviously, Volkswagen has a major plant here, and there are a bunch of car folks in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Well, it's beautiful. And I know that the last time that we talked about the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival 3 years ago, we talked about all of the different things, and it's a rather unique event, and I think Motor Car Festival kind of sums it all up. It's a car show, there's a concours, there's all of these different things that you guys have put together that really makes it unique.
Yeah, it is an amazing event. We do, and also we've got Mecum coming again this year. They had a huge, rousing success. In fact, the fire marshal shut the entry into the event down because it had so many people there. And my friend Dana said that they had about an 88% sell-through, lots of wonderful cars. That happens earlier in the week. We have a concourse on Sunday, some amazing cars from all over the world. Last year we had some of the greats of the Ferraris. This year we've got some surprises happening as well. I had a number of brass cars out in my vintage race cars. And recently we just signed on with Tony Perella and SVRA. As you well know, they are 45-year-old racing management association sanctioning body. And they're going to be sanctioning and running the racing at the Jim Pace Grand Prix, which is right in downtown Chattanooga. That's one of the fun things about our festival, guys, is that it's right downtown. So mom can come, wife can come, she can go shopping, go to restaurants, and
dad can hang out with all the car people.
Kids too.
Yep. Absolutely. That sounds like a fun event.
And with it, it's 4 days.
Yeah, it's actually 4 days because we do some test time on Thursday. And we're racing Friday and Saturday. The Mecum event is earlier in the week as well. We have a rally and then the concourse on Sunday, which is an amazing event. And it's all for raising money for the Neuroscience Center at CHI Memorial. We raise a pretty good amount of money. It benefits a charity, but as you well know, an event like that comes downtown. It benefits the city, and Chattanooga's love it. And we do this race right in downtown Chattanooga. We added about half a mile to the race course this year, so it's about 2.25 miles long. Goes partly on city streets and partly on private property. It is an amazing event. I myself race some early brass cars with some ragtime racers. My friend Brian Blaine and his crew from out in California come, and we get some of these early brass cars and go head to head, and it's a crowd favorite. The people really love seeing these things going. This last year we had our 1911 Marmon Wasp, which is an exact replica of the winner of the first Indy 500,
Wow.
against the 1911 Lozier that Ralph Mulford drove in 1911. And we burned up the track, doing about 50 miles an hour.
And I'm sure the crowds get really involved in it, because it's amazing to see how fast those early cars would go, considering the original lack of safety features the cars had on them, and
Leather
how
helmet.
beautiful and how different each car was. It wasn't like today where it's a template; they all look the same. Cars back then not only looked that much different, but they sounded that much different. And
back when, guys, that they had, they had some camphor oil in those things, so they all smoked. And it's fun. This last year, I remember in one of the chicanes in my 1911 Mercer raceabout, I got that puppy sideways.
Oh.
And, so I was drifting. How many people have you ever seen that drift in a 1911 Mercer raceabout?
Just you.
and knew where to get the tires after you burn the
There
tires
you go.
off of
See,
them.
I wasn't worrying about wearing out those tires. That's for sure, Connie. So this year, by the way, we've got lots of celebrities coming. My friend Justin Bale will be broadcasting his torque show live stream from Chattanooga. He'll be there. Wayne Carini's there, who has the
very
second
good.
best
Yeah.
mustache. He says, "No, I've got the first best mustache, Corky, because you've got a goatee now." But I'll be there. Tom Carter is there. Elaine DeCadenet, Ray Evernham, Tanner Faust is coming.
Oh,
Ken
wow.
Gross,
I think he knows how to
Brian
drift
Redmond,
a little bit.
Bill Rothermel, Keith Martin, Lynn St. James, Linda Vaughn, and Mike Tilson.
Wow, Lynn St.
All of
James.
Linda Vaughn,
And
Miss Hurst Oldsmobile.
Lynn St. James, yeah.
Well, Miss Hurst, she
Yeah.
wasn't. But think of the history of cars that you're bringing there. Not just the cars, but the people as well. I know Ray Everingham is quite passionate about vintage cars, and has quite a collection.
Yeah, he's
of
got a
his
few, right?
Well, he's got a few less. He just sold about 10 or 15 or so
Yeah.
on Mecum
Yep.
the other day in Indy, and it did pretty well, I think. That was an exciting time. By the way, he's bringing for the 2022 Chattanooga Motor Car Festival, he's bringing some stock car greats. We're going to surprise the crowd with that, and there'll be a stock car class in our racing. There's several classes, obviously my brass class, up to 1920, sports and racing cars, 20 to 54, sports GT cars, 72 to pre-72, sports and GT cars over 72, open wheel formula, sports GT 73 to 2000 or 1999, and then stock cars.
So you got the whole
those
gamut
stock
there.
cars were all originated here in southeast Tennessee and western North Carolina, North Georgia.
So
You
with
know
all these classes, is there going to be racing? Is rubbing? Is there going to be any rubbing on that track?
Probably not a lot.
Any paint swapping?
Yeah.
Well, we all have testosterone. Come on, guys. We're all going to get out there and say, no, we're going to be nice. We're going to do that. But you get out there and you say, dang, that guy passed me. I'm not going to let him pass me again. Here I go.
Well, and the beauty of it is this is all fundraising, and the automotive community nationwide has a very philanthropic heart, because so many people do fundraising for various charities, but your charity for the CHI Memorial Neuroscience Innovation Foundation is very, very specific to the Chattanooga area.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Byron DeFore hooked up with Brian Johnson from AC/DC, and they started this 50+ foundation to raise money, and they've given millions of dollars actually for autism research and neuroscience research. And Dr. Thomas Devlin is running that Neuroscience Center at CHI Memorial, and they're doing some good stuff. We're going to try to get away with this Alzheimer's. I mean, do away with this Alzheimer's mess that, you know, I don't see too many dark-haired guys there.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, you're looking a little too close there.
We're all culpable or possible to have that stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
And Brian
they get
Johnson's a
rid
big
of it.
car guy.
And they're learning more and more about it each day
They are.
because there are people out there that are doing this type of research that requires the kind of funding that you guys are going to help bring.
So I wanted to ask, how are you guys handling, you know, folks like me or, you know, our viewers as far as trying to get a hotel reservation and get more informed about the actual event itself, maybe even be involved in maybe one or two events that you've got offered?
Well, we have a great website, and we're opening up the tickets. You know, it's $119 for the 3-day event. It's at ChattanoogaMotorCar.com for all the info. It'll give you the rooms or the hotels, and it'll give you the lay of the land. You need to think about coming. Chattanooga is a really friendly place. People look at you and smile. You know, we taught you guys in Texas how to do that. We sent Davy Crockett and Andrew Johnson and those boys.
The volunteer state.
But we're all friends, and we talk alike, us Tennesseans and Texans, don't we?
Yes, we do, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I've already posted links to the Chattanooga motor car event.
Thank you, brother.
So people can get on and look at the accommodations, information about application, Mecum auctions and stuff, how to get involved and how to give.
So are there going to be food trucks or vendors selling wares and things, merchandise?
Well, that's one of yes, there will be food trucks at the racetrack, but it's within walking distance of right downtown, but there's all kinds of restaurants.
There you go.
So, you know, it's not like going to a big golf course and you can only, you know, go up to the food tent and
for that $18 beer they sold.
$27 hamburger.
Yeah, I'm concerned that there won't be
regular
enough
restaurants in downtown Chattanooga, right next to shopping places for the wife to go.
Very cool.
It's a really fun time for families, and we've got Haggerty coming with their kids corners, and we've got, you know, just tremendous amount of momentum, and people. Their ears were tingling and their eyebrows raised when we first came out, and everybody said, "We're coming next year. We're going to be back," and we're really enjoying wild success.
Plenty of moonshine.
Plenty of moonshine. Yeah, but you can't tell anybody that you come down here and get it.
Yeah, we promise not to.
Fill the trunk up.
Before we let you go, how's the tire business?
Well, let me tell you something. Last business I had was really pretty good. Tire business is really good. You know, supply line issues are continuing to plague just about every industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here at Honest Charlie, we're also restoring cars. We're building, we've got a 1937 Cord Westchester in the shop.
Oh, wow.
We've got lots of people, over 200 people coming through the Coker Museum here. And seeing all of our fun stuff. You can see the Coker Tire booth at all the Mecum auctions. So we appreciate all our friends in the car hobby that are out there wearing tires out and enjoying their families in their collector cars and going to race events, because, you know, car people are the best people in the world, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
And if you want that vintage tire that matches your vintage car, Coker's the only choice out there. You guys offer such a full range of the wide whites that Don runs on his 2001 Corvette, but also the vintage motorcycle tires that you guys offer. It's pretty cool to have that range available at one location, one website. I've also posted your website on our
How about some
media.
Firestone wide ovals or some Goodrich TAs or something?
Oh yeah, the
Gatorback.
TAs.
The TAs.
They make
You know, we brought back the wide ovals. We used the original molds and the fiberglass belted wide ovals, and for those guys that were restoring the cars and wanting them to be concourse ready. But a number of years ago, I developed a mold that looks just like the bisply, but it is a radial tire. It's got the raised solid letters and the Firestone light ovals, and those are big sellers. We also did red lines and pinstripe whites, and they're fun stuff. By the way, I want you to know, Don, that for years I had and still have a number of cars, but I never had a Corvette. And it wasn't that I was against them. I wasn't against them by no means, but I just recently picked up a really pristine cherry 1967 4-speed 327 300 horsepower roadster, and it is a fun piece. I get out and let it blow my hair and my wind in my hair. And,
there you go.
And it's a lot of fun.
And it attracts lots of attention from everybody.
Yes.
What color is it?
It's that it's not the it's not emerald green, but it's a little bit lighter green. I forget what Chevrolet called that color.
I remember what
I should know, but I don't.
That's all right. That is a beautiful car, and you don't see that color that often,
particularly on that year model.
Yep. Well, Corky, it is so good to talk to you. We really appreciate the time you took with us this morning. When is the event? October what?
It's October 12th through 15th.
All right.
12th through 15th. Second weekend in October. Come to Chattanooga. We love having our friends from all over the world come to enjoy Chattanooga. It's the Dynamo of Dixie. It's the greatest mid-sized city. We got just everything going on. So come down and have a great time with us and help us raise money for a good cause.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm taking the Corvette out these days, and I'm thinking, well, that'll be a good road trip for me. Yeah.
And if you can't make it, you can go to the link we've got on our social media and just make a donation to them. They have a donation page, a giving page set up as well.
Corky Coker, thank you again, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on. God bless you, and I hope you have a really wonderful day.
You too, sir. What a great interview. Love that.
Yeah.
And if you'd like
Very
to,
passionate.
we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. You know, we've kind of missed the car clinic. And I know that you always have.
You don't like the way I was doing it?
Well,
Come on.
What are you trying to say here?
Well, yeah, but he embellishes.
Oh.
Just a little. Carbon deposits are inevitable, and many automotive professionals don't really take care of them and don't take them seriously. And because they think that carbon buildup inside of an engine is just kind of natural for it to happen. But when it gets left untreated, carbon buildup can cost the vehicle owner a lot of money at the gas pump because it'll interfere with performance and economy. But it can also lead to expensive, labor-intensive repairs to clean that carbon up. So basically, what are carbon deposits? Carbon deposits in an internal combustion engine, it's a harmful substance that forms on the inside surfaces of an engine, in the crankcase, on the pistons and the piston ring, on the intake valves, as well as internally and externally on the fuel injectors. The substance is formed when oil or oil vapor and fuel react with a hot surface, and they begin to oxidize. So if you kind of looked at what is oxidation, oil and fuel are a hydrocarbon. So if you looked at that hydrocarbon as a Pac-Man, and the oxygen molecule, the Pac-Man eats the oxygen molecule, that's oxidation.
Can I see that?
Yeah, I want to see that again.
Let me see that again. Just goes right in there like that.
And it eats the oxygen. That's oxidation. And
Shut up.
And that's when, and that's when
That's what you young kids are calling it now.
things turn dark and change color. It changes viscosity. All of these are ever present in internal combustion engines, but the science behind it is the formation of this oxidation as it goes over a period of time becomes polymerization. Now, Don, you still wear your polymer jumpsuit from the 70s. I've seen you post pictures of it.
That's right. The dark green bell bottoms.
But
With white shoes?
Polymerization is when these oxidized molecules connect together. kind of like Lego blocks connect together and become what's called a long chain molecule structure. And that is what deposits on the surface of things. You might see it as varnish or gum, and eventually it leads to sludge. In reality, those deposits reduce efficiency inside your engine and can mechanically hinder the engine performance, clogging those little oil micropassages that are in there for the variable valve timing or the displacement on demand systems. But most people think that modern engines are much more efficient, and modern engines are more efficient. But here are some of the facts about the modern internal combustion engines. When the internal combustion engine is its most efficient is when it's clean. In this case, they're not talking about measuring miles per gallon. They're talking about torque produced by a given air-fuel mixture under a specific engine load and speed. I think we're going to have somebody on a little bit later talking about dynamometers, and that conversation we'll talk, because they want to measure the brake-specific fuel consumption. So how do you determine, are you losing fuel performance because of carbon deposits? That's one of the measurements that would you use. Simply put, internal combustion engine is more efficient at low speeds and high load situations, and the brake-specific fuel consumption is going to be slightly different across each engine family, but the proper tuning of that engine is going to have an effect on that, and we'll tie back in with that with an interview we have a little bit later in the day. But cool. In a nutshell, carbon deposits are bad inside your engine. They're bad inside the crankcase. They're bad on the tip of the fuel injector, because that's the carbonization, as the hydrocarbon eats the oxygen molecule.
Oh, that's what you say.
I used to cry after playing Pac-Man.
And I have to
Ms.
tell
Pac-Man.
So here's my carbon removal experience working at Richardson Chevrolet.
Oh, here we go.
Which, by the way, George sent a picture of the brand new Richardson Chevrolet back in the 1960s, early 60s. Anyway, I get sidetracked
Easily.
Squirrel.
So, little old lady has a, 8-year-old Chevrolet, drives it back and forth to the grocery store and church, and that's it.
Never been over 2,000 RPM.
It's never been over 2,000 RPM. It's just not running right. Well, all of a sudden, on the main line in the dealership, in the service department, they've got her car, the hood is up, and the mechanic is in there revving the engine, and here comes all the soot coming out of the back end of the car, and he revs that thing up. I thought it was going to explode, and he dumps in water in the carburetor. Oh, my God. The whole shop was filled with carbon coming out of the exhaust system on this car. And I don't know how it ran afterwards. I think he had to
probably ran better.
Oh, yeah. A lot better after he changed the spark plugs. And I would imagine that it was truly an event to see the entire huge shop filled with all this ugly carbon that was wafting through the air in here.
Probably not the safest way to do it for the engine, but today they have different chemistry that'll go in and do that. But, I see, people doing the decarbonizing using our products, the BG stuff, and you still see that smoke can come out, and that is truly just all of that carbon coming out of the system that are going through the exhaust
We use
system.
transmission fluid instead
Yeah, I was
of water.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah, see, great minds think alike.
Well, your minds think alike. I don't know if I'd put the word great on that anywhere.
Elon, I've got a couple stories making auto news headlines.
Yep.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has a quote-unquote super bad feeling, end quote, about the economy and wants to cut about 10% of jobs worldwide at the automaker, he said in an email to executives seen by Reuters. The message, sent on Thursday, entitled Pause All Hiring Worldwide, came 2 days after the billionaire told staff to return to the workplace or get out.
Yeah, I love that.
It adds to a growing chorus of warnings from business leaders about the risks of recession. Tesla employs almost 100,000 people at the company and its subsidiaries at the end of 2021, according to its annual SEC filing. Musk has warned in recent weeks about the risk of recession, but his email ordering a hiring freeze and staff cuts was the most direct and high-profile message of its kind from the head of the automaker. Inflation in the U.S. is hovering at 40-year highs and has caused a jump in the cost of living for Americans, while the Federal Reserve faces the difficult task of dampening demand enough to curb inflation while not causing a recession. And little expansion here on the get out thing. He told that he has had it with this whole working from home business. He said Tuesday to everybody at his electric car company, elaborating on an earlier missive to executive staff about the need to be in the office. Employees at numerous companies used to work from home or hybrid policies have revolted against RTO policies and long commutes. Everyone at Tesla is required to spend a minimum of 40 hours in the office per week, he wrote in an email titled, "To be super clear." Moreover, the office must be where your actual colleagues are located, not some remote pseudo office. If you don't show up, we'll assume you have resigned.
Oh.
Bloomberg confirmed that Tesla employees received the email on Wednesday morning. Good for you.
Now, isn't this because he's buying Twitter?
Well, that's
He's
part of it.
setting the standards for it.
Well,
Now, it
he's
has
doing that.
nothing to do with that. It has to
I
do
think it
with
does.
going to work and putting in your 40 hours.
I agree.
Twitter
That's
does
where it
happen.
is, because back in the late 80s, early 90s, AT&T was a big proponent. They built out their network. Oh, you can work from anywhere. You know, they did all that stuff. They figured out by 2000 they were losing productivity, and they made us all come back in to an office, because just like the four of us sitting here.
Clock in and clock out.
Well, yeah, because the interaction between us, you lose that.
Well, I'm back to the Twitter thing. He's setting that up because all of them work satellite remotely. He wants to bring them back into the building.
Quick break
be,
now. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, well, we're going to talk about the benefits of dyno testing and tuning. you and I. I don't know about them, but we are.
We're going to play Pac-Man.
We're going to have the upcoming events calendar and this week's Auto News headlines just ahead on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. We had a guest lined up for this segment to talk about dyno tuning, testing, and
It's not working out.
You're way too nice.
Well, I try to be.
They haven't showed up yet. They may show up while we're talking about this, and that'll be great.
So I've never had the Corvette on a dyno. I've seen some horrible things happen.
Oh, yeah.
On a dynamometer.
Oh, with stuff blow up.
Yeah.
Or better yet, the car comes untethered and shoots through the wall. Yeah. I've seen those.
Those are bad.
They're real bad.
Or the ones I watch are the diesels. You know, they're rolling coal, and all of a sudden something pops, and everything goes, and people are diving under stuff.
Thermal events.
They know there's shrapnel coming out afterwards.
So, first of all, let's establish how a dynamometer works.
Okay.
It's a wheel in the floor and that you drive your car on, whether it's front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive.
Or four-wheel drive. There are four-wheel drive dynos.
Okay. And it puts a drag on the engine, but it also, when it does that, it also measures torque, horsepower,
speed,
all of those things.
You've hooked into
RPMs.
You've hooked into the computer of the car, so you can monitor RPM, air-fuel ratio, temperatures, all kinds of stuff. Everything that the computer on the car measures.
If you have a computer in the car, if you've got an old school that doesn't have all of that.
But there's ways to hook up to the car to gather that information.
Right. And so they actually have dyno days. Car clubs will go to somebody that's got a dynamometer, and one by one they'll put their cars on there for usually a minimum fee. Because
30, 40, $50.
Right. As opposed to you just taking it over there and for
$100.
For $400 or whatever they want to charge to put it on the dyno. And you hopefully have somebody that knows what they're doing, that can sit in the driver's seat, run it through the gears, and also have a laptop in their lap. They can say, okay, well, we're going to add some more fuel. We're going to take away some fuel. We can adjust the timing. We can all do this in the mapping of the computer that is in the car.
Trying to push that horsepower and torque number up within the safe parameters of
and find the sweet spot for the motor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is it really pushing the horsepower and torque up?
Could you move your microphone closer?
Oh, absolutely.
For performance, or can you say I want more performance or I want more economy?
Yeah.
More
you tell them what you want,
okay.
and they can tune to it.
Yeah.
Tune to what you want to do.
And for me personally, I think I'd like to have a nice balance between fuel economy and horsepower.
Giddy up.
You don't think Greg did a tune on that?
He says that he did, but I don't know what he did.
You have headers?
No, it does not have headers.
Okay, but you do have a cold air intake.
I have a cold air intake and a catback exhaust.
Okay. And all of that, any change that you make to the car
affects.
A tune would affect the output of the car, and a tune could make that, a dynamometer tune could make that change you made, cold air intake, catback exhaust, more effective. So if you put headers on it, now all of a sudden the car flows air better. So headers and an intake and a camshaft, you need to get a tune after you do that, because now you have to adjust the air fuel mixture to the air flow going through the engine, because the engine's basically an air pump. Air goes in, air comes out, and a loud bang in the middle, that's the power. So you're going to make adjustments to how all of that works in timing and air fuel ratio to get the maximum output of it. Or in Mike's case, maybe you're looking for fuel economy. When you look at some of these bolt-on tuners, and I'm going to talk maybe diesel more than anything else, on those bolt-on tuners, generally there's a selectable tune that you can go to. You can go to I'm towing. You can go to I want max horsepower. You can go to I want max fuel economy, or you can go to standard. So within that, you can switch the tune around. And on cars, they can do the same thing. Sometimes it's a matter of plugging into the ALDL connector, the diagnostic connector, and swapping tunes in and out of the car for what you're looking to do. You know, the tune you would have to drag race your Corvette would be different than the tune you would have to run at COTA. So there's all those variables involved where you're going to really have to have a good conversation with the guy with the laptop and what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, and when you watch NHRA, like at Pro Stock with Erica or any of those Pro Mod guys that run, they're in there adjusting
Sportsman.
Yeah,
Pneumatics,
they're in there adjusting spark. You know, 1 degree at 1 second, another 2 degrees at 4 seconds.
Not only
because
that, but
they realize how that advances the car
Yeah.
depending on the atmospheric conditions.
the timing of the shifting of the pneumatics, the air blow for the trans, that's all set in there as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago I was covering an event out at Baytown, and I walked through the starting area, and the guys were sitting in the cars with their laptops, and they were talking to their tuner remotely. Okay, here's what I got. Here's what I'm showing. And they were basically tuning their car as they pulled up into the stage.
Let's just use trucks here for a moment, because I know on trucks that most of them anyway, that late models, they have a thing called tow mode.
Mhm.
Is it strictly transmission, or does it also change the parameters in the motor when you stick it in the tow mode?
Early on, tow mode was strictly transmission.
Right, it keep it from
Right.
going into overdrive.
And more recently, they've gone in, and tow mode has an engine component as well as a transmission component to it. And in some of them, it even does engine braking. So the transmission, as you tap the brake as you're going downhill, the transmission's going to downshift so that you've got engine braking going on, as well as the ability to tow more. Early on, it was really just later upshifts. They raised the pressure in the transmission. But the more recent, 2015, 17 and up,
Right.
it's a much more integrated system that is managing the engine performance, timing, air-fuel ratio, and the transmission performance.
Yeah. Well, I know that the dynamometer is a wonderful tool if you're a true engine guy and you want to tweak it for whatever it is that you're going to do. And even in a family car, let's just say the family truckster, you got to go on the vacation and you want to get the maximum fuel economy that you can. You really don't care about, you do, but I mean, as far as acceleration is concerned, you're really not too concerned about the performance, if you will,
Max
of the car.
RPMs and all
You're
that.
all strictly nothing but fuel economy. You can go to a dyno tuner and have him tune that car. Now, let me ask you this. Isn't there something that you can plug into the port, the computer port, that you can have like program A and program B?
That's what I was just talking about when
Right.
you plug into the ALDL connector, the diagnostic connector for the car, which is the same shape connector,
Is it OBT?
regardless. Yeah, the OBT2 connector. It's the same shape connector for everybody's car, but you still have to have the right program in there so
Right.
your car can read it.
So this is kind
And
of
you
like,
could swap out A and put it in the box and put in B. So if you're wanting performance, you could put A in it. If you're wanting
so
fuel
I could do that
economy,
with the Corvette.
yeah, you could. I don't know that you would, but you could. Yes. Now, when we talk about dyno tuners, you got to remember there's multiple facets of what the guy is doing. You know, he's got the dynamometer, so he's got the big heavy wheels that they put your car on top of, and it's not just a matter of putting your car on top of it. You have to literally strap the car down properly, because if your Corvette's going to put out 350, 400 horsepower. So you have to make sure that this car stays in place as they're accelerating the car.
It's like
through.
a child sitting in the doctor's office getting a shot for the first time. Now, hold still, little Timmy. It's going to hurt just a little.
I'd say it's more like a race car driver in a NASCAR car, because they're going to strap the front of the car down, they're going to strap the back of the car down, and they want that car to stay in place regardless of what's going on.
Well, just the inertia, the back wheels turning to turn the wheels that pick up all the data and stuff, that it creates that resistance. If it changes, that car launches.
Right. Well, and I've been to some dyno days where, and I've been one of them who will sit in the trunk or on the trunk to get enough weight on the car, because you're talking 700, 800, 900 horsepower cars that when they whack the throttle, the tires spin on the dyno. So you got to put some extra weight on it so it spins the drum of the dynamometer and not spins the tire on top of it. So, yeah, there's a lot of
strap
aspects.
it down, yeah.
So it's not just the dyno, but then he's got to have the tuner that fits your vehicle, because an LS motor tuner is going to be different than a Coyote motor tuner. That's going to be different than a Hemi motor tuner. That's going to be different than an Audi or Mercedes tuner.
I need an LS tuner, an LS1 tuner.
Yep. Well, and that's actually quite popular.
So there's actually,
out there.
I guess, almost like a specialist.
Yeah.
So you'd have to know
somebody that's an LS specialist.
Yeah, you'd have to understand how your adjustment affects the output numbers. The output numbers being the dynamometer is going to measure basically horsepower and torque.
Right, but if you go back to the concept we were talking about, where a motor is basically an air pump, you put air in, you put fuel in, you put spark in, you make the explosion. I mean, that's the same basic process to all of them.
But it's the timing of all of it, and it's the volume of all of it. So you can put in more air and make the engine go lean and create a problem. You can put in more fuel and make the engine go rich, which is going to drive the numbers down. You can adjust the timing forward or back to create more power or to create less power. But there's also a point where you can make huge mistakes and melt something down. So you put too much timing advance in it and you make it run too lean, and then things get too hot and you start melting pistons.
Burn holes.
But there is a line that you want to get to that you just don't want to cross, because ultimately an engine is designed to run at stoichiometric 14.6 to 1 air-fuel ratio is the optimum. But when you're trying to create more power, you may go a little bit richer. When you're tuning a turbo motor, you're going to make some changes. When you're tuning a nitrous motor, you're going to make big changes as well, because different engines that take in oxygen different ways, whether through forced air from turbo supercharging or nitrous through the liquid of the nitrous oxide.
Yeah, you still got to get your fuel.
You still have to have the fuel ratio correct.
So let me ask you this, going back to the over-the-counter tuners that you can buy and plug in. So are they, to the best of your knowledge, that's kind of like a generic program? That and so it's not going to be quite like going to a tuner that's going to get very specific for your particular vehicle.
Correct. And if you've got a stock Camaro, and it's got an LS3 in it, there are some very good plug-and-play programmers out there that you could plug into it.
Okay.
But once you start making adjustments to it, putting cold air intake on it, putting an intake manifold on it, maybe a camshaft, a set of headers, now the plug-and-plays don't work. You have to go to somebody who's going to be able to read the data, the air-fuel mixture, read the timing, read the output, and make those adjustments before and after each dyno.
The plug and play is going to be based on the default specifics of that engine, and you change them, and it's no longer any good.
It's like buying the vanilla ice cream. It's a plug and play that they've kind of generic made it for your particular motor, but it's not specific to the weight of my car, the aerodynamics of my car.
The
headers,
the atmospheric conditions of the day.
It's the 50,000-foot view rather than drilling down to the lower.
Is there an advantage to it? Yes. The correct thing, the most efficient way is to go to somebody who can tune it.
Yeah.
But they're going to have a big investment in equipment. Those dynos are a couple of $100,000 a piece, And some of that tuning stuff is $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for the computer and
programs.
the programmers.
That's why I'm thinking $400 or $500 at least.
Isn't a bad fee to
but the
get
equipment,
more.
the knowledge that the tuners learned and got training wherever you got it from.
It's like I've said before, when you go to a shop, you pay for three things: parts, labor, and knowledge. And a lot of times that knowledge is very, very valuable, and that's really what you want to make sure you're going to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Do you know somebody
and knows
that does LS1s like that?
Oh, yeah, there's lots of people in town. LMR would be one here in town, I would think would be.
Down in Westheimer?
Are they on Westheimer?
I don't know.
Late model racing.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty well known here in town. There's a number of them. I'll get a couple of them for you.
Okay.
Find out who's out here and who's nearby.
It'll be interesting to see what it does for your
but
car.
To me too is what kind of dyno do they have? What do they focus on? I'm a believer in, if you're going to be tuning your Corvette, you want somebody who focuses on LS motors. If you're going to be tuning a Mercedes, you want somebody who focuses on Mercedes. Somebody who does a little bit of everything might not be an expert in your thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I kind of believe in finding the expert in your thing to do your work.
Would you be able to dyno an EV?
Oh, good question. I would imagine so. You got to think, when you look at some of these guys that are drag racing EVs, some of the way that they get more power out of the battery, and I remember we had the Ford guy on who was talking about the EV Cobra Jet, and he said they heat the battery. They bring the battery up to a certain temperature before the car goes on track, which would be tuning it to get the most out of the battery. But I would imagine so. I don't know. I would think there's got to be a way to do that,
because they're involved in NHRA now with all that. So
before we wrap this up, I was wondering, like my truck, the 2015 Ram 5.7 Hemi. I mean, I one of these days I'm going to change the exhaust on it, but otherwise, would a tune benefit something like that? Because it's not performance like Don's Corvette.
No, but from my perspective of it, your truck is tuned from the factory to do a multitude of things: haul, tow,
right,
and to get relatively good gas mileage, which inherently it doesn't. But you could probably adjust all of that, since you don't tow anything. Take that aspect of the tune away.
Tune it for fuel economy, but your lead foot would have an effect on that.
Well, I understand that, but
I would think, just as an outsider looking in, correct me if I'm wrong, you could probably do more service to your motor by having it tuned for fuel mileage, by putting also a K&N filter on it, and maybe some catback exhaust. I'm not familiar with truck exhaust, but to make it flow a little bit better, and then tune it for fuel economy, because you don't tow anything.
Nope.
And you haul very little.
I did for the radio show.
As far
for
as,
us,
yeah,
that's
but
it.
As far as that's not really big hauling.
No, that's not a lot of weight.
Hauling a lot of weight. So yeah, again, it's a matter of talking to who's doing the tuning and telling them what your expectations are, so that they can.
Does his have cylinder deactivation?
Yeah, I asked him about it before, and he said
it does.
Yes. And you'll see some tuners will turn that off.
Well, and I've seen some guys on some of the forums. What they'll do is they'll take it out of the automatic shift and put it into the manual shift when you get into 8th gear, and lock it into that 8th gear, and that it deactivates the deactivation process. I can't. I mean, it runs better. I can't tell it does anything to gas or fuel economy, but it definitely runs better.
What kind of gas mileage do you get in that thing?
If I'm
13?
driving normally, it'll run 16, 17.
It's not bad.
And
on the highway.
Yeah, on the highway. And if I've got the cruise working and I'm taking it easy and trying to, I can get 20. But I got to work at it to do
I
that.
told you when I did the Hot Rod Power Tour, we were all in a great big huge line of cars. I got almost 30 miles per gallon in that Corvette. 30 in the Corvette.
I totally believe that with the 6-speed, because you've got 2 overdrive gears.
Yep.
And along with that is that engine has a lot of torque. You got to remember, go back to what my piece was earlier about Conrad's Corner. was, engines are designed for low RPM, high torque situations for the fuel specific brake horsepower. And that's where you were, because you guys weren't driving fast places.
No.
You might have had moments of accelerating hard, but that 6th gear cruise set thing, or that 6th gear soft foot, your car loves that. And that's where they get the fuel economy.
Yeah,
out
at
of
60 miles an hour, I think it's like 1,500 RPM. It's just idling,
it.
really.
Right.
All right, time now for the events calendar, and I know that you have something exciting for us.
Well, big exciting thing is 2 weeks from now on June 19th at Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy Tortillas off of Kingsland. Starts at 8 in the morning.
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks from now. And tonight is Nifty 50s up in the Woodlands, the Kima Car Meet. And as well as tomorrow night is classic cars at Brazoria County, cruise in at Luby's down in Lake Jackson. Also tonight is the Brookshire Brothers cruise in Montgomery, Texas, and that's just a cruise in. Everything's free. Tonight at 7 p.m. is the Dayton Cruisers Weekly Street Meet out in Dayton, Texas. Tonight at 6 p.m. is the Splendora Car Meet in Splendora on FM 2090 in Splendora. It's going to be easy to find because Splendora is not that big. Tomorrow is the Woodlands Coffee and Cars for a Cause, and we know we have Randy on all the time talking about that, and that's always a good event to go to, and they always draw in some real big, cool-looking cars, and that starts at 6:30 a.m. and goes to 10:30 a.m. at Six Pines Drive in the Woodlands. Also tomorrow is Classic Cars and Coffee and Donuts at the Whitehall Cafe in Navasota, Texas. Tomorrow is Cars and Coffee at Noe's Cafe on Spring Stubner. And then right out here at
Chrome and Coffee.
Chrome and Coffee is tomorrow.
Yeah, at
the Avalon
Diner.
Yep.
Which is basically Highway 90 and
59. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, I'm planning on going,
Yeah, me
getting up
too.
in the morning and washing the car. And taking. You going to take the Cadillac?
Yeah, probably.
Does Craig show up?
Absolutely.
Does he?
It's his
Does he bring
event.
different?
Oh, yeah.
What does he
whether
bring?
it's time?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
It depends, because he's brought all of his cars, including
the bus.
Oh,
the
has he brought
bus,
the bus?
He's everything. Yeah.
The Ford GT?
His daughter brought her new Porsche. Didn't you have a Porsche?
Yeah. Brand new Porsche
Oh, my God.
race car.
A 32-point turn to back it in. It was great.
Was that?
Snaked it in.
Yeah.
It was great.
Anyway. All right. Mr. Mars has a feature for us.
I started talking. I keep hearing all these people talk about we're going to go to EVs. We're going to outlaw all the ICE engines, by in 5 years, 10 years, wherever. And I just kind of started wondering, how feasible is that? And we've talked to a lot of guests have talked about the details of it. But I just, at a little bit higher level, I found a few things that I thought were interesting. Like there are over 1 billion cars in the world right now, estimated. In 2021, there's over 1 billion cars out there. Now, if you look at that, we're making like 70 million cars every year. And if EVs are even 5%, which they're not, then, that's 3.5 million. So the ICE cars are outrunning, just from a production level, like 10 to 1 on the EVs. So they're going to increase. I understand that, but I can't do the statistics. I only got 10 fingers and toes. But, and in 8 years.
Right now you got 15.
Yeah, I know. And it's
I thought you had
think-
6 toes on your left foot.
No, that one's gone. I had to have it off. You said the Buick was going to be totally electric in 2030.
Yeah.
So that's like 8 years from now. So in 8 years from now, we'll have made 560 million cars
Worldwide.
worldwide.
I have to question those numbers.
I mean, you're talking
It's-
like 32 million EVs.
Well,
at
we
5%.
sell generally 17 million here in the United,
Here in the United
States,
States
a
every
year.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And that moves up and down.
Those are old
Right.
figures. They're not selling that many now.
No, but that's on average.
That was in 2021. There was a
Okay.
lot of value out there. It takes a while to pull all these statistics together. So that got me into looking at some other things that were going on. Like I found out, unbeknownst to me, that the average U.S. driver spends 42 hours per week stuck in traffic. I mean, that's 2 days in a year that you spend in traffic. And Washington, D.C. actually has the worst traffic in that drivers wait 82 hours a year in traffic. So you talk about snarl up there in the government.
Well, they accomplish nothing
exactly.
when they get to work, so why should they get to work
So they're not
early?
in a hurry.
They do have a lot of roundabouts up there.
And I also found out it's estimated that 18% of American drivers know how to drive a manual transmission.
Watch out for Paul Pelosi.
Meaning 72% can't drive a manual transmission.
Katie and I can.
Exactly. So
But
you're part of that.
All four in my family can. Angie
Part of
can.
that 18%. And there's also, it says that there was over 30,000 unique parts in an automobile, which means that 80% of the average car can be recyclable. So 12 million vehicles a year are recycled every year, which makes automotive recycling, the 16th largest industry in the country.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's one of those things you don't really see a lot. You know, it's there.
Well, they got them all hidden behind great big huge
Fences.
Exactly. But there's a lot of it out there. And it's also estimated that a car spends 95% of its lifetime parked.
Yep.
Even though passenger vehicles consume 359 million gallons of gas per day in the United States.
Per day. Wow. Let's see, times $4.59. That's a buttload of money.
It is a buttload of money.
So
How much did you pay this week?
$4.59.
You got 30
I
seconds.
still got support. Okay. The world's fastest record for removing an engine is 42 seconds. Volkswagen owns 12 car brands, but it is not the largest. Toyota has sold 43 million Toyota Corollas since 1966, making it the best-selling car of all time. Woohoo.
I'd believe that.
Just some
Statman.
Weird stuff that I found.
Statman.
Statman.
Statman. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 at iHeart.com and
Bang.
through the
Boom.
iHeart app.
Zowie.
Just look for the In-Wheel Time Car Talk.
Wowie.
Hubba.
We also stream. No, we don't do any of that. We're going off the air. We'll be right back.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InRealTimeCarTalk.
From Studio A, it's the In Real Time Car Talk Show, coming to you live here from Texas, USA.
Yep.
Coming up, Ronnie Rodriguez talks about his new racing show and what's happening in the world of local circle track competition. And we'll also have the events calendar, plus the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Speaking of Ronnie Rodriguez, here he is now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the new studio of Dirty Air.
And the crowd goes wild.
Guys, you should see. Somebody said something about a new studio as well, and it's like, well, the Revved Up banners are right down here. I just put those up on Monday.
I see.
So this goes up for Thursday.
So you're still doing the Revved Up Sports Show?
Yeah. Revved Up. The Dirty Air, it's actually really affording us the opportunity to kind of pull Revved Up back in more Texas. I mean, Revved Up was like, you know, we were talking to, well, we still do, but we're fixated more on Texas because it's very much a Texas show. So this other one is a good opportunity to talk to the Gulf Coast people and all that good stuff. So, but
A little broader. Get the Mississippi,
Right.
Alabama, Florida folks engaged.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
have you done some sort of a deal with Gina Child Knowles and Gulf Coast Racing Series? I know that they've got a video now that's available from mostly from the Mobile International Speedway. Are you part of that?
Yeah, that's in the Racing America package that she worked out. And you know, I tell you, you know, Don, she's a damn good negotiator. This whole thing, she came to me about 5 months ago and said, "Hey, you're going to be doing the show on Racing America." I'm like, "I am."
She negotiated that real well.
She's good.
She already had this whole thing laid out, and I mean, and everything. So she's done a really good job with that, to where, you know, not only Dirty Air, but just like having our shows on Racing America has really, the growth that we've watched this year. We've only had, I think, 3 events, but it's been incredible to see. And honestly, we struggle with car count, but the racing's been good. But to see that the exposure that we've gotten, I mean, just across the country, I mean, to get people reaching out from the West Coast, it's like, hey man, we enjoy the racing there and so forth. So it's a great platform, and she's worked really hard, and I'm glad that the series is going in the direction that she wants it to.
Can you imagine what Bo has to go through? All the negotiations? Is she watching? I'll bet she is. I'm sorry, Gina. I just had to say that.
She was headed off to Alabama yesterday.
I had to go with it.
Yeah, you know, she'll text me every night. So get this, guys. So I went on Dirty Air a couple of weeks ago. We had a race. We had a race in Mobile, and I went on there. I had briefly told her this, but I never really confirmed it. And so on the show, I go on there and say, so if any driver from Pensacola comes out and beats, you know, a Mobile driver at Mobile this weekend, you know, you have to buy tires. It's two different tire manufacturers. I said, so if you come out and beat a Mobile guy, we're going to refund your tire bill. And I mean, as soon as that show ended, she's like, Bo said, what, WTF? Yeah. So,
But did it draw more racers to the track?
Right, exactly.
You know, that's the objective, is to draw more people to the track.
And it worked. It worked. I mean, we had a sportsman guy that came out, and he did. And here's the cool part. So he came out and he did that. So obviously he has tires. He came back the next race. So mission accomplished.
There you
How
go.
much are tires? How much are racing tires?
You know, I think right now it probably pushes you about $600 a set, maybe more. Since I actively am not competing right now, I just will not say that I'll never do it again. But since I'm actively not competing right now, and I really don't want to know, I don't know the cost of racing fuel, and I don't know the cost of racing tires.
No, can you imagine the cost of racing fuel's got to be going sky high right now.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
So how are things in the Gulf Coast Racing Series, since you cover both Houston Motorsports Park and Mobile International Speedway?
It's healthy. It's just a matter of it's so hard right now, guys. For the Texans, I mean, it kills us for the Texans because it's hard for the Texans to get outside of Texas anyway. But especially right now, I mean, just like we were talking about, cost of fuel and everything. I mean, it's just so tough. But the good thing is, and I think this will happen when we get back to Houston on July 2nd, is there's a healthy contingent of people in Mobile that actively support that racetrack as often as possible in all of those classes. And I think the Texans here, they are just chomping at the bit to get back on the racetrack. So, as long as we have good weather that week of July 2nd, I think that's really going to allow us to knock it out of the park there in Houston. I'm anticipating just a huge, especially when we get to trucks and modifieds and all of that. I think by far the Houston race is going to be our highest car count up to that point, once we get that race in.
Well, and we're also having the Miata race.
Yep.
Yeah.
That ought to be an absolute hoot.
Yeah, that right there, that came about, and again, that's something Gina came up with. And it's the same thing. I get a phone call. She's like, "Hey, we're going to run these Miatas at the circle track." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
But Richard was actually on Revved Up Monday, and just talking about the way that's all come to pass right there. And I think that's going to be, I always say, NASCAR has their next gen car. I think for Texas racing, that's going to be your next gen car right there, because that's going to be something along the lines of what the eco stocks are, except not as.
It's going to be a step above the eco stocks.
Right.
Well,
right.
and there's such a large contingent of spec Miata owners out there. It's affordable, and it's fun, and they're always looking for a place to go, and this is new. Let's go turn left.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to left, right, left, right, left, right.
Yep.
And now we're all going to go turn left. How much fun is that going to be? And I would imagine there may be a little bit of rubbing his race.
Oh, you know
as
that
goes on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the thing. When Richard was on Saturday, I kind of touched, or Monday, I touched on that a little bit, and he said, "Oh, expect us to be leaning on each other."
Oh yeah.
He said these guys are fired up, and he's talking. There could be 40 to 50 cars there,
Yeah.
and that's man. That
I would
Would you put all 40 of them on the track at the same time?
Probably heats.
Well, they'll,
Heats,
they'll
yeah.
have heats, and I guess they'll probably limit the feature competition to the ones that do well in
Yeah,
the heat.
top
Because
so-and-so.
40 on the track is going to be an endless loop.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
But the
I
more
would
the
assume
merrier.
there'll be B mains and consolations, and I would think the race director and me would say let's go with 24. 24 is a good number, but that's entirely up to them. I guess if they want to run 40, hey, we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah, not only have mashed fenders, but there will be no bumpers left either. Yeah.
Well, but how cool is that though? That a road racing sport wants to engage with
Circles.
engage
Well,
with
it's
the
something
circle
completely
track
new.
stuff, yeah.
Well, it's something completely new, and who else could you do that with? I mean, you
Right.
can't say, "Oh, well, let's have all the Mustang guys come out." I mean, you're not going to get guys that have been out on the track like at MSR or any place like that. The Miata is the only place that's really got that
Right.
kind of grassroots.
To start it on their own. That's why they're joining up. And
Yeah.
that makes perfect
Much
sense.
less have 40 cars show up.
Right.
That's going to be cool.
And I think what this is really going to do, I mean, this is going to bring an entirely different demographic to that July the 2nd race, because you're going to have folks that are coming specifically to watch the Miatas,
Right.
that maybe they go to MSR, maybe they go to COTA, maybe they go, wherever it may be to follow that
Crescent,
series.
yeah.
And hopefully what'll happen, they're going to get hooked on a modified or on a Texas truck or something. We did that in Kyle here at the old Central Texas Speedway, several years back, where we had a huge country music concert after the races. This is the way we promoted it. And we ran the races a little bit earlier, and we had all these people that came out, and before we realized it, several races down the road, we were still pulling the country music crowd because they liked the racing. And I think
Got a
this
taste
Miata
of it.
thing, this is going to be huge.
Well,
This
yeah,
is gonna-
people might not know that those kind of events are around, much less that close to their house. And it's like all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to follow them. I'm going to see what's going on, and I'm going to go to the next couple of events, next 3 or 4 events.
And it's such a cool event here in Houston because you got dollar beers, dollar dogs, and just fill the stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And you do have to put this when you look at this and you try to market it. You do have to. I know a lot of old school race fans will frown on the NASCAR factor, but you have to understand that with new fans or the new demographic you want to go get. All they know is NASCAR. They don't know anything we do. I mean, they watched the Indy 500 last weekend, maybe, and maybe you hooked them on the Coke 600, but all they know is NASCAR. All they know is a circle and turning left, like you said. So if they go and they see that on a downsized version, it's like, hey, look, NASCAR in Houston, whether it's NASCAR or not.
Now, is the Houston race going to draw some Mobile racers, I hope?
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. We had some guys that came over and ran the big truck race last year from Mobile. One of them, Jerry Goff, he actually is the point leader right now in Mobile. He has not been beat this year in Mobile, and he actually circled the race in Houston where he said, I'm used to running half miles and so forth. I came and ran the 3/8 mile bull ring. It's a bull ring to him. And he said it totally changed their racing program, and he has not lost since he was in Houston.
So he
Really?
learned
So
something
he
here
learned-
on the
yeah.
shorter track.
He did. He was on the podium. He finished third. I think you talked to him, Don. It was that white number 10 truck.
Oh, yeah.
That truck had no spawn, didn't have anything on it. You should see that truck now. That truck is gloss black. It's got sponsorship all over it. And the guy is kicking everybody's ass. He's about to have a bounty put on him. He's
Well,
doing so well.
being successful,
Yeah.
that's when all the sponsors want to jump on as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So is there a race in Mobile between now and July the 2nd?
Yeah, next weekend in June. And Don, you would appreciate this, but of course, just the nature of what we're dealing with. We were supposed to have sprint cars on that track, on that half mile.
Oh, my gosh. I would love to see that.
Yeah, well, tire shortage.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Now, when you're saying
Yeah.
sprint cars, were you talking about the winged ones?
I was
or the
thinking the same
non-winged
thing.
ones?
I would.
I think it's a non-wing.
I was
think
going
it
to say
a
because
non-wing.
wings are great for dirt, but you've got a lot of sideways action
Way
with that.
too much speed.
It's way too much downforce on a track because the speeds are so much higher on an asphalt track.
And think about that one over there, Don. You get up there and you try to rip the cushion up on the top side, and you're going to go right off the
Yeah,
edge.
there's no guardrail.
There's no guardrail in
Off you
Mobile.
go into the parking lot.
Well, no, it's not the parking lot, but I'll tell you what, there's plenty
Yeah.
of weeds out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's trees out there.
And
That's,
trees too. Yeah,
Hold my beer, watch
exactly.
this.
But that's one of the appeal, and I don't think I have ever been to a track that doesn't have a guardrail around it. This one, the only guardrail is right in front of the stands, and it's a big one.
It's a
And,
concrete.
It's a concrete wall that you have to climb down to get across the track if you're going to walk out there. But that's a very so. How is the folks how the people come into the race? Is that picked up?
Place is to capacity as much as it can be. The grandstands are still being. I would say we're maybe 3/4 of the way with those complete, because it's a situation where when there's time you work on the grandstands, you do all this other stuff. When there's time you work on the grandstand. And last weekend for the Memorial Day Classic out there, presented by Advanced Auto Parts, we had I would say every piece of wood that people could put a tail on was covered, and that was really good to see, and they're excited, and the track is just so deeply rooted over there, and folks are they're continually coming back. I think the more people that realize that the place is going, and now there's a very consistent active schedule to where you can go somewhere and see what the schedule is and plan your day around being at the racetrack, and not hope that the race is going to happen, kind of like what we're doing in Texas. People know, and they're showing up in droves. And there are still people that like the other effect, and this will actually stay, because when we didn't have the capacity last year, we were allowing kind of tailgating in the infield down in the corners,
Right,
and people
yeah.
still want to go do that. So kind of a two-tone effect there with Mobile.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that I heard early on that there was a lighting problem or electric problem going on out there that Gina had to deal with. And so, to rejuvenate a track that's been idled for several years is quite an undertaking. And she's been taking it a step at a time.
Yeah, and the place is cleaned up very nice. I mean, she's done a great job. There's a construction company out there. We talked about the drop-offs. S. Feller Construction, they came in and they placed brand new dirt in the corners, you know, on the backside.
Yep.
They've got that all graded out. It's nice and smooth. I mean, it's still a heck of a drop off, but it's not near what it was before. But you know, it's funny what paint and cleaning up. I mean, the place just seems like it has new legs. And I tell Gina and I are both kind of firm believers, and you know, we're both older souls, and you know, neither one of us is young, but we're older souls than we really are. And it seems like every now and then when we're having a race there, and I've seen this 4 times in the races that we've had there, you know, we may get a little bit of weather or whatever, and a rainbow just comes right over the racetrack. And I tell her, I'm like, look, you're on to something here, because that
here's your sign.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, it is Pride Month.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And Conrad cleans up pretty good too.
Yeah,
So we do that to him.
I don't know how much of a factor that is in Irvington, Alabama.
But it's cool. The more success the track has, the more people it's going to draw, the more success it's going to have. So it's kind of feeding on itself at the moment.
Yeah.
Really
I wanted to ask you, what are the classes? Do you know the classes that are going to be racing here in Houston on July the 2nd?
So as far as I know at this point, you'll have your advanced auto parts trucks, which that's the staple right there. The CarQuest modifieds will be back, the TechNet Outlaws, and then we will have the Wheelman Sportsman, which used to be the super stocks. There's been a couple of rule modifications there to get more people in with that. The Lone Star Legacies will be back, and of course the Miatas. That's what I know of at this point. I don't know if the carts and so forth will be on that ticket, but all of those will be there. So that in and of itself right there, and you figure it's probably going to be, what is it, usually $15 to get in there. It'll be a whole day of practice, qualifying, and then of course your features. And like I said, I'm really expecting, especially with the layoff that the Texans have had, I'm really expecting a pit full, or we better have a pit full of people there for that.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, guys have been sitting at the garage and working on the cars and waiting for a date here locally, and we finally got one in July the 2nd. That'll be a great 4th of July weekend, and it couldn't have been any better as far as the way the calendar fell. July the 2nd, a Saturday, July the 4th, a Monday. It just turns out that it's going to be, I think, an awesome event. Rod, it's great to talk to you, my friend.
Absolutely.
I hope Gina invites me back to do the Winner's Circle interviews, but I haven't heard from her.
I think you're like I think you just have like a standing. I mean, you just show up. I mean, I think it's one of those
just
things
like you normally do if the court order's not in place.
The court order's
Don's here for the beer.
That's it. Hey, Ronnie, it's great to talk to you, my friend.
Hey Don, so I wanted to ask you, but before you cut me loose, so how was it? So you were back on the drag strip? Did I see that correctly?
Oh my gosh, yes! I took the car on the drag strip. I did the hot rod tour of Texas. Started down in Victoria and went north over 3 days through the hill country up there by you, Dripping Springs. We did all of that. And one of the stops was at a drag strip up there. And, so I made it to the 13.0 in the quarter mile, and half a second reaction time for an old man's not too bad. So there you go. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I love to hear stuff like that.
Thank you.
And next is he's going to go to the Corvette Invasion, and he's going to drive around Coda. And that may be a 13-minute.
They're going to issue him a calendar when he gets out there.
Don't get seasick going up the hill in turn 1. It's a heck of a climb.
We love you, man. Dirty Air, Rodney Rodriguez. Thanks, man.
Take care, guys. Be well.
You too.
You bet.
We'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. Our address here at In Wheel Time is info@inwheeltime.com.
That's always fun talking to Rodney.
It is.
Very passionate.
Looking forward to going out there. I haven't heard from Gina. Probably after this show, I'll get a text or something.
She's working on the bleachers.
Well, yesterday, whenever I tried to catch up with her, she was on her way to Alabama. She was going to call me while she was on the road.
She was actually here?
No, she was there, but she was going someplace in Alabama.
Oh, I see. Because she's moved over there.
Yeah.
Oh, she has?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's closer to the action.
Conjugal visits. I don't know how all that
Oh,
works.
No, I
but
thought they
whatever.
all went. I thought he went with her.
Well, race weekends for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
At any rate.
they got it figured out.
Shut up. What are you laughing about? Giggling over there.
Conjugal visits.
Whatever.
That's what Don did whenever he was. Never mind.
There's no dirty talk on the air here.
No, there's none of that.
That was Rodney's show, Dirty Air.
Dirty Air. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. Buick plans to stop selling gasoline-powered vehicles in North America by the end of the decade after rolling out a full lineup of electrics that will revive the Electra name from its heyday. The brand will go all EV in roughly the same time frame as Cadillac and push General Motors closer to its goal of having all light vehicles it sells be fully electric by 2035. Buick, which also updated its logo Wednesday to signal the coming overhaul of its lineup, does not plan to launch any new internal combustion vehicles after 2024, when its first EV is scheduled to arrive.
Yeah, the change of Oldsmobile's logo did it so much good. They changed the Buick logo.
Actually, did you see the new Buick logo? It looks really good, I think. It's red, white, and blue, but it still keeps the shields and all that.
So the Electra deuce and a quarter.
Do you still have that Olds tattoo on your?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You want to see it again?
No.
No, please keep your pants on. We're good. A defective battery pack caught fire over the last weekend, at the Rivian Automotive Incorporated plant in Normal, Illinois. According to the Normal Fire Department, firefighters arrived at the plant at 10:38 a.m. Saturday, where they found a battery pack in thermal runaway, meaning it had overheated and caught fire.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to put it out.
Firefighters connected hoses to standpipes inside the building and extinguished the battery pack fire, and then continued to flow water on the pack to keep it cool to prevent thermal runaway from occurring again, the department said in a statement. Firefighters from nearby Bloomington assisted because of the size of the fire. Once the pack was extinguished, firefighters moved the fire-damaged battery outside of the plant
so it could
with a pair
catch fire
of
again.
hot pad holders and towed it out of there.
So General Motors is going to become the first company to secure a permit to charge for self-driving cars in San Francisco. So your Uber's going to show up and there's going to be no driver behind it. The self-driving test cars with human safety drivers right now have become a constant sight in San Francisco, and completely driverless ones are increasingly common too, turning them into a fledgling business for General Motors and their side company called Cruise in a major milestone in
cruising.
San Francisco. Yep. So it'd be kind of weird. The car just kind of shows up
I know,
and you get in.
Some of the drivers I've seen when I've been out there, I was up in Detroit, I'd just as soon have nobody there.
Then yeah.
Well, there's that.
And then, they're trying to steal them, too.
Kind of like Home Alone, New York, where the cab driver that had one eye and
Yeah.
recalls this week are interesting. Inoperative side marker lights on the Jeep Wrangler for 2022.
Minor.
Okay, fine. Hazard lights may flash while braking on the Jeep Grand Cherokee 2022.
Minor.
I'd like to just go ahead and put that on as a standard feature on them. Let the braking lights flash while you
pay attention to me. I'm stopping.
Insufficient welds in the high voltage battery in the Ford Escape for 2020 and the Lincoln Corsair for 2021.
That could be pretty major.
In the battery?
That's what it says.
Are you building to a crescendo?
I am. Oh, you're going to love this.
Pac-Man.
Disabled instrument cluster display screen, Hyundai Palisade 2022. Hyundai Accent Elantra HEV 19 through 2023. Seatbelt pretensioners may explode.
Which is what they're designed to do at a certain time, just not
randomly.
Yeah. Seat cushion frame not welded properly. Cadillac XT4, Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, Chevy Malibu, 2021, 2022. But can you see this
drum
list?
roll.
Can you see this list from here?
Yeah, you can see it's pretty
you see
long.
it?
That
Full
multiple
page.
pages.
Well, no, but I mean, what would you say? There's 10, 20, 30, 40, at least 40 cars from maybe 50. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it is all of them that Mercedes makes. Disabled emergency call system. They're recalling the call system.
Mm-hmm.
How is that a recall? disabled emergency call system, because they make cars that don't have an emergency call system in them.
This probably is umbrellaed as a safety, but it might be more of a compliance. Remember,
So it's
2
cars
recalls.
from 2017 to current, and it's almost everything that Mercedes-Benz makes. And I say,
So in the case of a wreck, the car has its emergency call system.
But to its point, they make cars that don't have that.
Right.
But I'm betting that it's probably because they've created this expectation that
Well,
the car is going to do this for you from a safety perspective.
my guess is that the car has been given its blessing with the call system in it, and now it's under federal guidelines that if the call system doesn't work, then
Well, could this be driven by 5G, 3G? You know, there's a whole bunch of cars that are out there that were designed to operate under 3G.
Yep. Makes sense.
Wireless service that aren't going to work as 3G gets shut down.
My truck's that way.
nationwide.
It's 3G, and it's sooner or later it's just going to stop.
Go
so
blank,
what's
right?
going to happen?
I'll
Nothing.
have to upgrade
They're
the
going to recall
system. No, I'll have to upgrade the system. Take the whole head unit out and all that stuff.
Are
that's
you
in the dash.
serious?
No, you won't.
You think they'll
They're not going to do it for free,
No, they're not.
and you're not going to spend $2,000 to do it.
No, you can do it aftermarket for about $1,000.
Then we have parts
I've
in the
already
yellow
looked.
box. The yellow box has got
Yeah,
it.
there's
we get
we've
parts
got to
in
have
there.
wires to fix that here somewhere.
Yeah. Make a run up to Walmart. I'm sure that they've got something for you.
And that has happened before. You know, OnStar originally was an analog connection, and then it went digital, and then GM shut down the analog connection. So a huge number of early OnStar adopters lost their OnStar, and there was no upgrade available to it.
Well, my Corvette doesn't have any of that stuff on there, and it's not being recalled.
No, well, because it doesn't have any of that stuff on there.
Yeah.
You know, there's.
But I've got a cell phone that I use that I connect through a Bluetooth device to the radio, and it works just fine for me. Thank you. I don't have to spend $2,000 on some big screen thing that I got to cut up the dash.
We can do that.
I know that we can, and I'm not going to. Quick break now. We'll be right back. We're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Lupi Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Lupi trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeartRadio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Real Time Car Talk.
From Studio A, welcome to the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, had a chance to drive the new Ford Maverick midsize pickup truck. I'll give you my thoughts on it. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar, and later this week in auto history, along with Autonomy CEO Scott Painter. We'll talk gas prices and EVs. Just ahead in this hour of the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more, Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's it.
So is the Queen, her Jubilee.
Yeah, they kind of look like twins.
I'm actually kind of thinking about having my own Queen Jubilee.
There you go.
Queen for
I'll
a
It
day.
is Pride Month.
I'll be the Queen. Well, I mean, why not, right?
At least for the day.
Queen for a day. Do you remember
Sounds like a
Queen for a
TV
Day?
I
show.
remember that show.
Do you? Do you remember the host's name?
Ooh,
Oh,
I didn't watch it that much.
Wink Martindale.
It was not Wink Martindale. I am sorry.
Bill Cohen.
No, it was not.
Bob Barker.
No. Wasn't any of
Lenny Schwarzkopf.
No, it wasn't any of
Dr.
those.
Vinny Boombox.
That's who it was. Dr. Vinny Boombots, ladies and gentlemen.
In the house.
Now, if you don't know who Dr. Vinny Boombots is, you need to find out who Dr.
Google
Vinny.
it.
Yes, Rodney Dangerfield came up with it, and it was actually kind of a funny take on his doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But Dr. Vinny Boombots.
He talked about it on Carson all
Yep,
the time.
All the time. Oh, you know
and
Dr.
had
Vinny
Carson absolutely rolling
Boombots.
on the
He
ground.
always had everybody rolling all the time.
But he would not be politically correct today.
But that's what would make him politically correct today.
Do you know he was
He-
never married?
He wasn't?
Rodney Dangerfield was not married.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Learned something new. What do you want to talk about?
I thought he was talking about the doc, Vinny Boombots.
Dr. Vinny Boombots. I bet you Dr. Vinny Boombots had a car. What kind of car would it have been?
Cadillac.
Probably in a Cadillac,
Cadillac.
or a Lincoln Continental.
Yeah,
I'm saying a Lincoln. Yeah, a Lincoln Continental.
Or no, because it's Dr. Vinny Boombots. It would have been a Chrysler Imperial because it had to be something different and unique.
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, I like that.
Make a note of that.
He once told a lady, it looks like you're pregnant. And she said, I'm pregnant. He goes, no, it just looks like you are.
Oh gosh, that truly is politically incorrect.
All right, so Jeff has a story to tell.
What?
I think he just did.
That was it.
And Jeff's story to tell is his son's story, actually, because his son works for a Lexus repair shop in town.
Body
Lexus
shop.
dealer. Yeah,
Lexus
dealership.
dealer.
Mhm.
So I'll let you tell the story because it's just too good.
Well, they had an opportunity to trade in a lease. They had an ES Lexus. And as the story goes, with all the lack of vehicles and chip shortages, they couldn't get an actual replacement on time. So they were leasing it month to month. And lo and behold, a lease comes up, a new one for a 22 ES, and they jumped on it. They got it. So he's using all of his influence and things at the dealership to get the vehicle. And the day they picked it up, he was taking my daughter-in-law, Caitlin. She was at
His
his
wife
wife at the new side of the dealership, and he was on the body shop side. So that transaction was all taken care of. It's late in the day. He goes to jump in his Tundra at the dealership, which he did get through Lexus.
In a secured lot.
Yep. And his both catalytic converters were gone.
He
Yeah.
works at a Lexus dealership with his truck is in a secured parking lot, and 2 catalytic converters on that truck are gone.
And it's
And
In the daylight.
And the second time it's happened, it was probably between 3 and 5.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But like we've talked a number of times, Tundra is the number one
choice of catalytic converter theft.
Because it's got 2 of them on there, and it's
Actually-
up high. Huh?
Actually, I think it's got 4 altogether. But yeah, but it's easy enough. The truck rides high enough. Sawzall goes under there, and they cut all 4 of them off in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it's a happy, sad moment because they got the new lease on the new 22, and then you come to find out you've got they're on back order for months, obviously.
Because so many are being stolen
And
right
being
now.
late in the day to make the transaction, of course, all the decision makers and the powers that be at the dealership were not there. They're gone for the day or gone for the weekend. So he's got it worked out. He does have a rental and or a loaner, and they're working it out right now.
You said that was a Lexus dealership?
Mhm.
Man.
But it's
Because
not
if you're
just
waiting
that-
on parts, he may be in that loaner or that rental for a while.
You don't know.
But it's that's not it's not unusual to see catalytic converters taken all around the city. Unusual for it to be in a secured lot at the dealership, but that's people are rolling under your truck and cutting the converters off, and off they go real fast.
Yeah, and
I just wish they would change the laws here in town,
That's
where when the cops walk into a muffler shop and there's 35 catalytic converters that clearly have been sawed off, that they have some
Used.
kind of recourse.
And
to
he was
take.
very adamant about that. He says it should be against the law. But to our point that we made earlier with other guests is that there are legitimate salvage yards that do take those off.
Well, there is, and there's no way of right now of tracing him saying that one came off of that truck, so I know it was stolen. It's a used converter. It's all they can really tell.
So
Well-
when they put a bird cage, that's what I call it,
Good-
welder around it,
choice.
or however, that they put a bird cage around catalytic converters, how do they attach the bird cage?
It's either going to be bolted to the frame and the cross members and stuff, or it very well may be welded to the
spot
frame
welded,
and
yeah.
cross members. I would say more bolted. And really, what the cage is about is when the guy rolls under and he sees that, he goes, "Nope, not going to do this one. It's going to take me more than 3 minutes to take the converter off.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the next car."
It won't necessarily stop him from doing it because he can still
But it
cut
seriously
it. But it'll-
slow him down.
Yeah.
Now, Caitlin's father, my daughter-in-law's father, he's a retired sheriff. And he's got a Tundra. It happened to him, too, I want to say 6-8 months ago.
Well, like I said, Tundra is the number one. Prius is right there behind it.
Well, how about the police officer that shot and killed the thief?
Not far from here.
Right. And then there was a chase for the other 2 that were with him, and they nabbed them. Matter of fact, I was talking to a Sugar Land police officer, and he says, "Oh yeah," he says, "I wasn't working that shift, but I heard all about it." And
They had a car
they
full of
don't,
converters.
they don't tolerate anything out here in Sugar Land
Don't take
at
kindly.
all.
No.
Well, and that's location to location.
Yeah.
It's the workload that the Sugar Land police have versus the workload that the Houston police have. And it's also the drive of the Sugar Land district attorney versus the
Yep.
Houston district
Yep.
attorney.
In fact, we may
Yeah.
all be arrested leaving here today. You never know.
Again,
Yeah.
Well, if
not.
not that, I mean, we're certainly under surveillance right now.
Yes.
Well, it's
Look,
the
there's
court
cameras
orders
all
that
over
get
the
the
place
problem.
here.
Yeah.
So,
But it was
anyway,
interesting. He was upset, but yet happy that she's in the new vehicle. And,
Well, yeah, but
he had a
Oh,
lot of
God.
choice words to say.
You know, I have to tell you that, and I mentioned this earlier, kind of. I had such a good time on that hot rod tour of Texas by myself with 350 other,
Closest friends.
that I did not know, but I met. Had such a good time that I've upped the ante again, and I'm going to do the Corvette Invasion up in Bastrop next month.
which
Listen.
is right next to Coda.
There's
Which-
pretty
yes.
roads out there.
And
Very
so
pretty.
it's going to be 3 days of fun and adventure.
And sweat and hot.
That's all right. But it's so different because, I was in a Corvette club early on back in the 70s when I got my first Corvette. We didn't do stuff like this. We didn't even we had one cruise-in car show on a Sunday in a park, and I don't know, 2-3 dozen Corvettes showed up, and we had a little judging and, some barbecue and some cold drinks, but that was about it. But these road trips are just a ton of fun for me. And the Bastrop thing is not going to be a road trip like the Hot Rod Tour of Texas.
You're just going to drive to Bastrop.
Going to drive to Bastrop. A lot of static
hang
events,
around there.
car shows. There'll be vendors there, all of that sort of stuff. But it'll be mainly just hanging with like-minded people.
A little more time.
But
to
a
meet
Sunday
people and
cruise
talk.
over Dakota should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to happen early Sunday morning. And then after that's event, then we'll go home.
Bastrop's 2 hours away, a little bit more than 2 hours away.
Be about 2.
Yeah,
It's
something
very
like
pretty
that.
country out there.
It is. I truly like it. And not too far from LaGrange.
And there were
There's
fires
a home
out there.
on the range.
In
Fires out
LaGrange?
there a few
Chicken
years
ranch.
ago, and I had an opportunity to drive through there after the fires, and it was just decimated.
It was
All
ugly.
the
Yeah,
forest.
And you still see the
You can
scars.
still
Yeah,
see
you
the
see-
scars
yes,
from
you
that
can.
fire.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
can still see the scars when you go through up towards Plantersville.
Yep.
Of all the fires that were up there.
Do you imagine
Same-
what it would
same
be
time.
like out in California?
Oh,
Washington, all of those horrible fires.
Seen those, because Rochelle's in an area that's very fire prone when she was at the winery. And
It's truly amazing that out there near Sonoma, around Napa and the wine
they
country and all
got
that,
one going on right now.
that area, even in the summertime, you'd think it'd be lush and green. It is not lush and green.
I have a comment to that because the winery, there are vineyards out there when they process the wine and the grapes and everything, that it has a smoky taste to it, and they're losing money in some aspects of the wine. I don't know.
Because the grapes absorb the,
grapes, yes.
smell of the smoke.
Yep.
Depending on the direction of the smoke and stuff. Oh, absolutely.
So they're having to destroy some.
Are you going to make some sort of comment about smoking something, Mr. Mars?
No, not today. But I was going to say I was at an event out there with one of the OEMs, and we were out on this deck, and we could see the fires. This was a couple of years ago, off on the other side of the hill. But we had to put our hand over our drinks because the ash that was in the air, you couldn't really see it, but you could look down at your drink, and it would kind of start. Yeah, it would start piling up on it. So I can see where the grapes would be absorbing that.
They're taking
Woodward
losses.
Street Cruise. Woodward Green Cruise. So when is that? Is it August?
I think it's August.
August,
Third
yes.
week of August.
And is it going to be held at the same time as the Detroit Auto Show?
No, it's after.
I think the Detroit Auto Show, I think, is July.
Yeah, that was
And
when
then
it was
Woodward.
targeted.
I would think that they would kind of marry the two. Kind of like the drag race out in Las Vegas is kind of married to SEMA.
It'll be interesting to see if Woodward draws the manufacturers this year, because generally each manufacturer would have a huge parking lot with vehicles on display, and now that a number of them have pulled out of SEMA, are they going to go to Woodward?
And I was
Green
just going to
Cruise?
mention the fact that we had Randy Borcherding on last night, last weekend, that's been very involved in SEMA because of the show cars that he makes for different people. And he said last weekend that the bunch of the manufacturers are not going to have displays there.
In SEMA,
Why is that?
Money. I'm sure it's all about money.
I think it's money, and
But
I
they're
think it's,
making more money than they ever have before. Is it because they're going electric, that they don't want to push their gasoline
no, I don't
cars?
think so.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of the audience that SEMA
Attracts.
because it's aftermarket stuff. It's performance oriented. It's all custom cars that are there, and they used to give some guys custom cars to build so that they could be part of that custom show. And I just think it's the expense and their audience that they're reaching. when
Well,
you're
your
there.
return on investment.
Yes.
But you'd think, because everybody that goes there has a car, and they probably have somewhat of a late model car, if not a brand new car, that they drive at home all the time.
Right.
It seems like almost a captured audience.
I would think so. So I'm kind of surprised to see him pull out.
Well,
But it is a business audience, not consumer.
But I
Right,
now understand that. But just by the number of people that attend that show,
Right.
100,000, 200,000 people. I don't know what it is, but
Didn't they say they
it's
were
a
leaning
lot.
toward the EVs this year, or they have a separate display or area for the EVs?
Oh, I don't know
And
if it's
I
going to
don't
be
remember
separate,
if he
but I would
said
imagine
that.
there'll be some EV
Yeah,
there.
there will be.
But you think about U.S. auto manufacturers; their sales are down this year versus last year.
Well, they don't have any cars to sell.
Exactly, and we see that driving through town. If you think about it,
But the car manufacturers are still making lots of money, and so are the dealerships, which is truly amazing to me. Are they making it off of service?
well, they're not. The they're not having to discount. They're not having to put rebates on them. So all of that becomes pocket money.
Plus, they also don't have to have a huge inventory that
Yeah.
they're not having to pay taxes on.
Floor plan. Well,
Yeah.
floor plan more than taxes.
Yeah, the dealership I passed by coming over here in Winnie had 6 new trucks on his lot, and that was it. And total, I only counted 14 vehicles on his new lot.
Well, I mean, we
That
passed
Honda
that
store.
Honda dealership over there in Baytown that had nothing.
Right.
Well,
and they
and-
still have nothing.
And when we went out Sunday, Kathy's now noticing the dealerships around here that we go by when we're together. She says, "Oh yeah, look at that, look at that." So she's,
You
in
know, I
tune
fly
with it.
over the port of Houston, and they have a huge
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen. I mean, they must have several thousand Volkswagens. Now, early on in the pandemic, when things really were getting tight, they didn't have a whole lot of. Now you go over there, the lot is full of Volkswagens. Now, what specifically they are, I don't know, because they're all wrapped in white.
Yeah.
But the whole thing full of Volkswagens. I don't know where all those Volkswagens go. I'm sure they don't go to the
I'm
East
sure
Coast
it's
or the West
national
Coast.
well, central distribution, central United States.
Yeah,
distribution.
Central United States, I
Because
would
that's going to be
imagine.
the port of entry for them.
Right.
But, think about it. Ford is down 13% for May over May, 2021 versus 2022. Honda is down 36%.
Where are they
Whoa.
getting these billions and billions of dollars for each manufacturer to change over to batteries? Where does that money come from?
Banks.
Yeah, I would say some banks, some because they've collected it through the years and stored it up. Some of it's just R&D money that they're finally releasing that they've had in their pocket for a while, and are ready to spend it. Some of it's going to be government funded. You and I pay for a lot of this high-tech EV stuff that's going on. There's direct payments to manufacturers. Tesla's received direct payments from the federal government every year now for 7 or 8 years.
But yeah, well, Tesla's making a lot of money.
And nowhere on there does it say the unions are hurting.
Right. Hyundai brand was down 16%. Kia was down 13%. Mazda was down 18%. Subaru was down 20%.
Whoa.
Toyota, when you add Toyota and Lexus together, was down 19%. That's mind-boggling that they're selling 4 vehicles this year to the 5 vehicles they sold this last year and still making more money because you're correct, they are all making more money. So when you look at the industry itself is down almost 20%. And they're all cutting a fat hog, and Mary Barra is still making $29 million.
Your buddy, yeah.
Seem to keep
I
up with
mean,
her pretty
that
good.
just really ticks. It chaps my you-know-what.
Well, and the unions usually use that as a point for negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me going. I've had a bad 2 days, and I don't need many more.
Well, and then
Alrighty.
you heard Toyota is talking about a compact pickup truck to fight the Ford Maverick, which I think you're going to do a test on
Right
here in
now,
a few
yeah.
seconds. And the Hyundai Santa Cruz, the Toyota said they're looking at a compact pickup segment and hinted you will be seeing a new product from them in the very near future.
Yes. And if you'd like to get in touch with us here at In Wheel Time, you can shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2022 Ford Maverick. Did you do the cruise-in calendar? You didn't, but that's okay. We'll get to it.
We can.
Yeah, we'll do it later. 2022 Ford Maverick. Available trim levels, XL, the XLT, and the Lariat. What are you doing?
It's your
They're-
is loading.
your-
Your thing is loading.
It's fine.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, so 3 trim levels.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that kid in the classroom that's going over there, doing all this stuff, and you see it out of the corner of your eye, and you're trying to do your book report.
Oh yeah.
Try to focus.
Yeah.
I did it just to annoy him,
That's exactly right, and it was you.
and it worked.
all along.
Ooh, there it
This
is.
is a mid-size pickup truck, 5 passengers. Exterior features. Well, it's got Ford truck styling. I don't know how else to put that, with oversized headlights on the front end of it. Straight body lines with attractive tailgate and rear lighting. Wheels in our upscale Lariat were attractive. Black plastic lower front valance and black rear bumper I thought was interesting to make note of. What I liked about it, the overall look is attractive, I think. What could use improvement? How about a glam option like a platinum? You know
Like
it's
chrome
coming.
it up.
Chrome it. Well, I don't know about chrome, but yeah, fix it up, glam it up. Give me some platinum stuff
King
on
Ranch.
there.
And that probably happened as the years evolve.
I would imagine. Interior highlights: modular dash. The info screen sits atop the dash, and I'm not really too sure whether I like it or not on any car, but it seems to work with this because the way that the dash is shaped. Contrasting colors are nice in the upper trim levels. Boxed storage under the rear seat, and the rear seat has leg room.
In a compact truck.
In a compact truck. I thought, wow, well, there's something to talk about. It does have an odd bottom cushion release that you have to know where it is, and then you pull the little thing, and then you
it
can
gets up and you can get into the storage box.
What I liked about it, I like the rotary shift on the center console. What could use improvement? Lumbar adjustability would have been nice in the seats. Maybe they have it in a model that I didn't have. 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine is what I had. That is an option. It's a higher horsepower, 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. I'm a car guy. I'm a horsepower guy. I would get this. It just makes it feel like it's got tons of horsepower. Feels like an old V8 in a small pickup truck. Transmission, 8-speed automatic. Tow rating is 4,000 pounds.
Wow.
Haul rating is 1,500 pounds. But interesting,
It's more than I thought.
the haul rating in the lesser horsepowered engine is the same as the higher horsepowered engine. Just because of the springs, they don't take into consideration that it's got more oomph. I thought that was interesting. Miles per gallon, rated at 23 city, 30 highway for a combined of 25. I got 29.4 miles per gallon over 337 miles.
Very efficient 4-cylinder turbo.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I'm not the Mike Mars, heavy lead foot kind of guy.
No one is.
What I liked about it, power is good with the optional motor. Buy it. Base motor is a 2.5 liter with 191 horsepower. Ride and handling, handled well. What could use improvement? Unloaded, the suspension is a little stiff in this. It's a Raptor version in the works. Hey, go Don Armstrong. Pricing, base trim price on this is $25,490. Prices tested was $30,035.
Wow. That's not bad at all.
No. And this is with the optional upscaled engine and all that. Base model price, $19,995. This is for a mid-size pickup truck.
They'll sell a ton of it.
What are you doing
If they
over
can
there?
She got caught in the wires.
Oh,
Susie.
Suze. Competitors. The Hyundai Santa Cruz, which is a unibody, by the way, starts at $24,440. The Toyota Tacoma starts at $27,980. And the Nissan Frontier, all in the same class, starts at $29,990.
Boy, they got them beat on base price.
Yep.
Now, you're not going to find a base price model. I wouldn't imagine. But who wants that anyway?
Right.
At that kind of price, give me this one.
Yeah, because if the salesman sells the price leader, the $19,995 car, he's going to get fired.
I had the upscale Maverick Lariat with a 121-inch wheelbase, 8-speed automatic transmission. It was called Cactus Gray. Do you know of a cactus that's gray?
The blue agave is almost gray.
Now, we know about agaves.
That's tequila.
That is tequila,
That's
baby.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Maybe they should come up with one. They could have a Reposado, Anejo, and what is the...
We have one.
What?
We have one of those. He's speaking.
Yeah, speaking right now. Let's do the cruising calendar while we've got the time.
Cuervo,
Jose Cuervo was a friend of mine.
Josie, yeah.
Again,
I had a Reposado last weekend. It was really good.
What's the Hueda is an H tequila. Kathy had that.
Hernado or Herando or something like that. Northside Mustang Open Car Show at Gullo Ford in Conroe. Hornito.
That's it.
And that's going to be June 11th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also June 11th, which is next weekend, the Round X Lone Star Drift is at the Houston Police Academy from 12 noon to 5 p.m. Also, June 11th at 9 a.m. is the Groesbeck Lions Car Club show in Groesbeck City Park, which is up there in the middle of nowhere. Surfside Beach Cruise is June 11th. The June 18th is the Cypress Cars and Coffee at a Louetta and Spring Cypress.
Do you lose your place when
yes,
you're doing this?
I've got them all stacked together. On June 24th at 2 p.m. is the Street Outlaws No Prep Kings out in Baytown. Should be a lot of fun. I know you're not a fan of it, but
of what?
Of Street Outlaws.
No,
but that's going to be a big event, and they draw huge crowds, and I wish Seth well on that. Should be a pretty fun event. Wheels and Warriors at the Crafty Crab in Pearland, which is east of 288.
I want to go there
Broadway.
just to see. I went to the Crafty Crab, which is kind of close to the Krusty Krab.
July 9th at 5 to 9 p.m.
You ever been there?
And then you're going to the Corvette.
SpongeBob.
I know SpongeBob.
Corvette Invasion in Bastrop, the 15th through the 17th. And Houston Motorsports Park is going to have their race day August 6th. And then finally, the 5th Annual Car Show, September 10th, up in Huntsville.
The Krusty Krab.
The Krusty Krab.
I'm a Squidward fan.
Are you?
Yeah, I like Squidward.
Patrick.
Are you Patrick?
Patrick.
Or what is the squirrel's name?
I swear Patrick's stoned.
Sandy.
Sandy.
I swear Patrick's stoned.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the episode of Rock Bottom, where they took the bus to Rock Bottom? Oh my God! I laughed till I cried. Rock Bottom, where they talked with an accent. Good
pop in your peas.
And they couldn't understand what he was saying.
Send your comments to info@inwheeltime.com.
Speaking of, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on iHeart, the iHeartRadio app, and Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after a quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Scott Painter, CEO of Autonomy, on gas prices and EVs. Conrad will have This Week in Auto History. And we'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, that guy over there with the big thing on his arm and shoulder.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that?
You
What's
can
a
just-
six-pack of
You
beer?
can just stop at Big Thing over there.
Oh. Is that catheter hurt?
Did he actually say that?
Yes.
You know what? We've got that recorded somewhere. I'm going
And
to.
Becky's watching.
Oh,
and
boy.
Becky's watching. That's perfect.
Is she?
Yeah, that's what she says.
Damn it.
Not anymore.
Yep. We have King Conrad DeLong here. We also have We Need More Jeff Zekin.
do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. My gosh, it's the last half hour of the program.
Woohoo!
We've made it.
2 more hours
I
left.
can't believe it. Time flies when you're having a good time, huh?
Yes, sir.
Joining us right now is the CEO of a company called Autonomy, and his name is Scott Painter. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and thanks so much for joining us today. What is Autonomy?
Autonomy is a way to get flexible access to an electric car. I think that, given everything that's going on in our world today, we believe that it is time to consider going electric, but, there's a lot to think about when you consider getting an electric car, because they tend to cost about 20 to 40% more than their internal combustion engine counterpart.
So how are you helping people get into an electric when they're not too sure, or maybe they can't find something that's within their price point?
Well, I think the primary focus of Autonomy is to bring the price point down, because at Autonomy, you're not buying a car. We're actually letting you effectively have a open-ended, flexible term lease to that car that doesn't require you commit to a long term. You can go month to month, and it does not affect your credit. So you're not actually getting into a car loan or a fixed term financial commitment. It does not show up on your credit report as debt, and you don't, as a result, have an interest rate. The entire thing happens on your phone. It's a lot easier. But I think the most important feature is, if you've got a little bit of anxiety about whether or not the battery life or the range anxiety or the charging infrastructure is going to be there, or you're really going to even like driving an electric car, not going ahead and committing to a 3-year lease or a purchase of the vehicle and dealing with title, registration, maintenance, repair, all of those things are handled inside of a subscription. And you can go ahead, try the car. If it doesn't work for you, or for whatever your situation is, you don't have the right charging set up, you can go ahead and return the car.
So it's a subscription.
It is.
Okay.
So the shorter the time, you said month to month versus a long term, do you pay more for a month to month versus the subscription for a longer time?
Traditionally, when you go for a shorter period of time, you end up paying a little bit more, in fact, because rental costs on, for instance, our launch product is a Tesla Model 3. We're expanding into the Model Y and the full Tesla model lineup here over the next couple of months. But we launched earlier this year with the Tesla Model 3, believing that's really this generation's Prius. It is a the most mass-produced electric car in America and in the world today. We do require a 3-month commitment at a minimum. So we don't want you to think of this like a rental. We're effectively, though, $21 a day. $490 a month is our entry-level price. You pay a start fee that's like a cap cost reduction or a down payment in a traditional car loan or lease. But then you keep the car for as long as you want or as little as you want, and just go month to month. So really the cost is the big savings, whereas a rental is going to be 5 times more. A loan is going to be about 50% more. These cars are $50,000 cars, a $50,000 car loan over 3 years for most customers. It's going to cost you about $5,000 down, 10%. You're also going to have to pay tax when you buy the car. In a subscription, you do not pay sales tax when you take the car. You pay sales tax on a monthly use basis. So you'll pay $50 a month as opposed to $5,000 up front. All of this is just about giving customers more and more reasons to go electric.
And what a great opportunity it is for that driver who says, do I really want an electric? They can come to you and get that, not necessarily a test drive, but get that shorter ownership experience or driver experience of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12 months without the commitment, the financial commitment that they would if they had to buy it.
You know, one of the things we're seeing, and you're totally right, is a lot of customers who are in the wait list for a Tesla Model 3 with Tesla. The average wait list time is now between 8 and 12 months to get your own vehicle built the way that you want. And then you have to get into a 36-month commitment. So you're really stepping up to a 4-year relationship with your car. And if you're a little bit hesitant because of either range anxiety, cost, or whatever it might be, this is a perfect way. And so we're seeing a lot of those waitlist customers get a car from Autonomy while they remain on the waitlist, because Tesla lets you cancel your order up and until the time you take delivery. So I think in some cases, we'll have customers who just decide to stay in their car. But in other cases, they'll just use this for a short term and then roll into their Tesla Model 3 lease. And this actually is about 15% cheaper. And we also allow customers to get the vehicle that might have a little bit of a different credit score. Tesla has a cutoff for their Model 3 lease of a 720 FICO, whereas for an Autonomy subscription, you just need a valid driver's license and a credit card, and you can go all the way down to a 640 credit. So it really opens up electric to a whole new cohort of customers.
And along with that, as they get the car from Autonomy, what kind of charging system comes with it? Because if you're going to take an electric car home, you better have a way to charge it correctly.
You're absolutely right. There are 3 levels of charging. Level 1 charging is what 80% of electric car customers are doing today, which is a 110 trickle charge. It comes with a car. You just plug it into an outlet. You get about 25 miles a night. If you charge it up over a couple of days, you'll be able to stay ahead of your driving. Most customers with an electric car tend to drive less. Average miles driven that we're seeing is about 25 miles a day. So level 1 charging does work. However, Tesla is way ahead of the other brands in terms of their charging infrastructure. They've built a supercharger network of DC fast chargers that can top your vehicle all the way up to 260 miles of full charge in about 15 to 20 minutes. There is a Tesla supercharger within 10 to 15 miles of everybody in Texas. So this is definitely something that they've given a lot of thought to. And because right now we are a Tesla only shop, that supercharger network is your level 3 charging backbone. We're starting to see a lot of level 2 charging, which will get you 50 to 60 miles a day, emerge at shopping malls, office centers, and apartment buildings. So there are more chances than ever before. And certainly in big cities in Texas, this is really an option. Even though, electricity prices have been going up pretty, aggressively, they haven't kept up with how fast gas prices have gone up. And so it still represents for the average consumer almost a $3,000 annual savings to go electric. That $3,000 can really be helpful. If you want to go ahead and get a home charging conversion kit, it's about $1,000 to have one of these things installed, and you can do DC fast charging at home. You can get a full charge every night.
So with your relationship, or probably not a relationship with Tesla, but where are you getting your inventory? If a regular retail customer is having to wait 6 to 8, 10 months, how do you build your inventory to provide vehicles through Autonomy?
It's a really great question, because Tesla allows its customers to cancel their order up and until the day they take delivery. They are pretty famously one of the only build-to-order car companies. But as a build-to-order car company, when they take an order from a customer, they go ahead and slot that vehicle for production. And they have cars that, quote, fall out of production. To keep their production facilities moving at maximum efficiency, they basically ignore the fact that some customers drop out of their funnel. Those cars then become available for fleet customers. We operate with a dealer license and a reseller permit. So we also do not pay tax the moment we buy a car. We are buying currently hundreds of cars every week. Even though this business got started earlier this year, we're already seeing thousands of customers who've installed the app, thousands of people on the wait list. We're delivering about 15 cars every day and growing every week. So
wow.
The key for us is being able to buy in large quantities. And we're not picky when we buy about the color, the tire and wheel combination, the battery combination. We're buying across the board and taking whatever Tesla sends us.
So, do you actually have a relationship with Tesla, or is this just as a Tesla retailer that you have a relationship with?
Well, we're not a Tesla retailer because they don't have any retailers, and we're not selling anything. The key to subscriptions are that we're not selling you a car, and we're also not lending you money. That's what makes it so easy. It happens all on your phone. There's no offline paperwork. You sign for the car with your finger, and again, all you need is your valid driver's license and a credit card. But we do have a relationship with Tesla in that we are buying more Teslas than just about anybody right now, other than Hertz. But we'll be quickly catching up with them as we continue to grow the business and expand nationally. This was initially launched here in California, where I am, but it is coming to Texas. It's coming to every market where Tesla has great registration data of customers who are trying to drive EVs, and many of the big cities in Texas are leading the way there.
So I can see where this would be a really cool deal because, like, my wife's driving pattern, she could drive an EV real easy because she doesn't do more than 20 to 30 miles a day.
She's watching you right now.
I know. But we've had this discussion, and she has never driven one, even though I get them through the fleet. But so she's a little concerned about it, and she won't. But I could get one for 3 months, let her drive it, let her get the experience out of it. And my problem with an EV is I don't want to pay the $50,000 for it. You know, I'll go buy me a muscle car first. But by this, I could put her in one, actually save some money, and I could see that working.
Well, you know, it is about affordability for sure, but the issue of range anxiety, you know, when this first happened that, you know, we started to see electric cars show up in large numbers, you would have thought if we were so worried about this that there would be Tesla drivers stranded in their cars everywhere, and it just doesn't happen.
What is the price of gas in your area out there?
Yesterday, at the bottom of my hill, I live in Westwood, California. It was just over $7.20.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And I was complaining about paying $4.49 the other day. So, is Westwood Southern Cal, Northern Cal?
We're here in Southern California, so
Okay.
we're right near Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Brentwood, all these really high-end communities. But all of LA right now is peaking well over $6 a gallon and $7 a gallon in these sort of nicer areas. So, you know, I tend to drive personally in it, even though we've got literally hundreds of these Teslas. We've got a Tesla in the family here. I've also got, you know, a gas guzzler. We've got a couple of vintage cars. That my daily driver has become so prohibitive. I'm almost putting $600 a month into gas into my car. However, our price for a kilowatt hour of electricity makes the decision to drive electric here 10x the savings. Instead of putting $4,500 a year into my tank, I could be putting $450 into the same miles driven in an electric car. So massive savings.
Now, if we engage with your company, what about insurance? You know, insurance coverage on the vehicle.
So I'll tell you where we're at today is basically where every other lessor and lender is in America. They require you as the driver to go ahead and get insurance, and they require you to cover the car at some minimum level of coverage, whether that's 50, 100, 100, 300. These are all pretty standard. That's how we launched. However, because subscriptions tend to be of a shorter term and auto insurance policies haven't been modernized yet, meaning if you're going to get an annual auto insurance policy, but you're only going to keep your car for 8 months, you're going to have some unnecessary insurance. So we've been working with Nationwide Insurance to be able to deliver a month-to-month auto insurance policy that you'll buy directly from us. And then finally, where we're really excited to go, because we get information directly from these cars, they're fully connected 5G cars, we're going to give our customers the option to not drive the car and not have to pay insurance. But if you drive the car, then we'll bill you for daily auto insurance. And daily auto insurance is something like a $5 charge. And while $5 a day every day might add up to a little bit more than your own insurance policy, it's accessible to most people, and they don't have to sign up for a multi-$1,000 per year annual policy.
Plus, if they're not driving the car every day, they're not paying the $5 either.
I think it gives people a lot of incentive to be in control of their budget. And Nobody is offering episodic time-based insurance. It's only possible because we're fully connected to these cars.
And that way Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah.
Sorry. I couldn't avoid that one.
Yeah. What about maintenance? Is it, do you just...
These are, one of the things we don't say to folks is that you're going to be guaranteed a brand new car, because obviously as cars come back from one customer, that car will go right back into service to another customer, but they're not rental cars. These are cars that are going to be used, we believe, for between 9 and 15 months on average. That said, the car gets reconditioned, comes out, and it doesn't matter whether you're getting a brand new one or you're getting one that's lightly used, you are going to have all maintenance included. That includes tires, brakes, windshield wipers. And this is the same thing that you would expect if you went to a rental car counter. You're not going to be worried about maintenance on the car. You're going to be able to just drive and rely on that car and the all-in cost. So that's where we started. Everything is included, including roadside assistance.
So, but if it breaks, then I need to take it in just like I would.
Well, if you're in a rent car and the rent car breaks, you have to do the same thing. They've got roadside assistance. I would assume your roadside assistance.
I mean, if it's a catastrophic failure, obviously we'll come pick it up. If it is a maintenance issue, we'll tell you where to drop it off, and we'll give you the option to have somebody come pick it up if you would like. But any kind of thing that you don't have to pay for, it sort of falls into the same kind of category as a warranty service.
Okay.
And your reconditioning location, because you said you're somewhat based in California right now as you're expanding to different areas, how do we get the car from Autonomy? Let's say I want to subscribe, and do I have to come there to pick it up? Do you deliver it to me? How does that aspect of it work?
We are right now operating 2 different ways to get the car, and we're really experimenting here in California, because as we expand into other markets, getting a car into a subscription is somewhat like picking up the car from the valet. You just need to verify that the car isn't damaged. You get a QR code, and then you go ahead, release the door locks on the car, and it's your car once you sign for it and your subscription is active. That means you can pick up the car at a location like a hotel where they have a parking garage and charging stations. That's really ideal for us. However, what we're starting to see emerge here in California is we give people for $100 a home delivery option. 70% of our customers are choosing home delivery. I personally think that this whole thing is going to go towards home delivery. And as specifically Teslas become autonomously driven cars, imagine the car pulling up into your driveway, turning itself off, locking the doors, and then texting you that it's ready.
That's genius. We were talking earlier about the GM and their cruise program of autonomous taxis, basically, that are running in San Francisco. I would assume. Are you already operating in the Bay Area, or are you just down in the LA area right now?
Yeah, we initially launched thinking, with Los Angeles being the car capital of the world, where nearly 15% of all Tesla registrations are, that this would be a big enough market for us to launch in. Quite literally, within days of our launch, almost half of our orders came from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Of course.
And the reason for that tends to be that the Bay Area is famously known as an early adopter market for new tech.
Right.
And whereas Southern California is much more car centric, it's a great electric car market. Up north, this is such a novel idea. Getting a car entirely on your phone, zero negotiation, zero paperwork. This is identical to how one would rent a scooter. You scan your driver's license, you scan your credit card, and you're done.
So if I am a subscriber to Autonomy and I'm driving a car, do I ultimately take that car home, or do I leave it parked in a common area and I'm moving in and out of different cars over my subscription?
Yeah, this is not car sharing.
Okay.
This is your car, and you get all the benefits of ownership. You get to take the car where you want, do what you want with this. We believe that this is just a different financial contract for getting you your car, but this is what modern ownership is going to look like. I think it's also consistent with everything else we do in modern life. We subscribe to our movies, we subscribe to our cell phones, our minutes. All of our content comes in the same form of a subscription. I think ownership is quite unnecessary, especially in a typically depreciating asset. The idea of borrowing money at a high interest rate to finance a depreciating asset. I've got 4 kids. That is just not good financial advice.
Is there like a mileage limit on it, like you would get with a regular lease?
Yeah, so what we do offer is 12,000 miles a year, 1,000 miles a month. But if you want to drive more miles, you can do that, and you just pay for additional miles. What we do, however, requires that you do not use your autonomy subscription for gig economy and rideshare work.
Huh. What celebrities do you have on board with you? Since you're in, you're in the nest.
I know of all the celebrities we have on board, and I don't have permission to mention any of them because I don't want to get ahead of that. But I know that this is going to become a bigger and bigger issue because as these things tend to become very trendy and popular, you want to be able to tell everybody who's driving these cars. I do know right now there are some very forward-thinking celebrities and trendsetters that are driving the car just because I've seen the list of all the customers that are signing up.
How cool.
Scott, what's the website?
It's autonomy.com, but you can also find us in the App Store at Autonomy, just the single word, AUTONOMY. And then we also are at 1-800-AUTONOMY if you want to make a phone call. All of it is just an easy way to find us.
Thanks so much for the education, and that's what it was because we had no clue. And best of luck to you. Obviously, I don't think you're going to need any luck from our end, but things are going well for you, and it seems like it's a great thing to offer people. Well, again, thanks. We really appreciate the time you spent with us today.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Scott Painter. Autonomy.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what a spectacular idea.
Love it.
All right. How about this week in auto history? I know that you have that.
So,
always.
you know what yesterday was?
Yes, it
Friday.
was Friday.
No, yesterday was the day that Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. You listened to the very beginning of the song, and that was June 3rd. I didn't realize that. I thought that was kind of
The 3rd of June. That's right. It does say
No,
that.
it was June Cash.
No.
She was singing back
in
up.
1921, Mack adopted the bulldog as its symbol for the trucks. In 1927, production of the Ford Model T officially ended after building 15,007,000 units. The Model T sold more units than any other car in
It's
history
amazing that there
until the
aren't any
Volkswagen
more of
Beetle.
those around. You just
I
don't
think
see Model Ts around.
I think there's lots of them around, but they're not.
You don't ever see
not
them in
out
a
on the
car
road.
show or anything.
Well, I don't know that I want to drive one, but
No, but I mean, for
We
a
used
car
to see
that
him in parades and stuff.
for
though.
a car
You
that was
not
that
anymore.
popular, and they sold so many of them.
Well, you don't take them out because they're so fragile.
And then in 1930, the Chrysler Building was completed in New York City. And at that time, it was the tallest building in New York City, tallest building in the world. And then shortly after that, a few years after that, the Empire State Building. And the funny thing is, you ever been to New York and seen the proximity? The two of them are actually quite close to each other.
Right.
The Chrysler Building is stunningly beautiful with all that stainless steel Art Deco work on top of it. It's really, really quite a piece of art. In 1932, the first gasoline tax was levied by the U.S. Congress, and it was enacted as part of the Revenue Act of 1932.
Those darn revenuers.
Yeah, revenues.
Congress placed a tax of 1 cent per gallon on gasoline in 1932. And now Congress has 18.4 cents per gallon nationally as a federal tax, and Texas takes 20 cents per gallon as a state tax. In 1933,
But we don't pay income tax here.
Yeah, I know, but Texas is low at 20 cents a gallon. California is double that. New York's double that. In 1933, eager motorists parked their automobiles on the grounds of the Park-In Theaters, the first ever drive-in movie theater located on Crescent Boulevard in Camden, New Jersey. Park-In Theater term eventually changed to drive-in theater later on.
Park-In theater.
Park-In theater. In 1934, Bonnie and Clyde were shot to death in their Ford V8. Clyde Barrow, and you can go see this letter at the Ford Museum, had written a letter to Henry Ford praising the performance of the flathead Ford V8.
Yep.
In 1937, VW was founded in Germany. And that's the original VW, and you can kind of see it really hadn't changed all the way through When did the Bug go away?
90.
Well, but that was the front engine one. The rear one, right into the early 80s, I believe.
The front engine wasn't the 90s, was it?
I know they built them in Mexico for a longer
Yeah.
period of time than they were here in the States, but you can see that the evolution of the car. In 1937, also, the Golden Gate Bridge opened to vehicular traffic, one of the world's largest single-span suspension bridges, and it was designed by Clifford Payne. You've been across it?
Oh, yeah.
What a stunningly beautiful piece of art that is.
Tires going
because you're
across it.
driving over that
Grate.
open grate.
Yeah.
In 1951, Gordon Berrig of South Bend, Indiana, received a patent for vehicle top construction with removable panels. Now, he also did the Auburn Speedster, and it didn't come into production until 1968 with the T-tops, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And in 1910 was when Hummer shut down.
One story I got to get in.
1910?
Next generation
Or
Lexus
2010.
RX, the top-selling family hauler that crushes the midsize premium crossover segment, leads Lexus deeper into electrification with a complete redesign that brings the nameplate's first plug-in as well as fire-breathing F-Sport turbocharged hybrid. And when it lands in the U.S. this year, the 2023 Lexus RX will debut with 4 new powertrains as well as a new direction for the Lexus design, de-emphasizing the spindle grille.
Yay.
Woo! We'll have more of the In Wheel Time Car Show after this.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Well, you know what that sound means. Yeah. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye. That's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're on our Facebook page, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting Features, along with all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. In Wheel Time can also be heard live on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider 7 days a week. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. For booking agent and podcast editor Mike Bars and his royalty king Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In Wheel Time was produced by the hot chick lifeguard at the neighborhood pool.
All right.
Be sure to join us again for our next live In Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday from the Lone Star Street Rod Association
State run. In
June
Granbury.
11th, 2022, starting at 8 a.m. Central on all these In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now.